Good evening, everyone. Happy Thursday. It's almost the end of the week, and it is time for another episode of Top 5. Jason, how you doing tonight? Oh, yeah, right as you take a sip.
Good.
Good to see you. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Doing good. Yeah, I mean, we just played Borderlands on Tuesday, and I don't know about you, but that already feels like a week ago.
Yeah.
So, but good to be back with you and talking some more games rather than playing games. So tonight is episode 37 of Top 5. I almost said Party Chat. And tonight we are ranking our top 5 favorite first games in a franchise. And so we got a great panel of guests, all who have been on Top 5 before. Good to have them back. So first up, we got my good buddy Nightmare. Good evening, Nightmare. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, and hopefully you don't have any further snafus like your avatar stopped tracking during your Psychonaut stream this afternoon.
Yeah, that was weird. For some reason, my USB hub just like completely turned off for like a couple seconds, and it was enough to just disconnect everything.
That's what it was. Okay.
Keyboard.
Yeah, I was lurking the whole time, so I didn't say anything, but I was there.
Yeah, that was a weird one. Hopefully it doesn't happen again.
So, and we also got Lowest Expectations joining us again tonight as well. Good evening, Lowest. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. What's going on, gamers?
Good to have you back. So, and I see dudes over in the Rumble chat. I haven't seen dude in chat much lately, so good to see you back. And hopefully you're almost back on your digital feet, meaning back to your usual streaming, because I know that the whole flooding thing has really kind of messed up your streaming over the last couple months. So hope you're almost back to regular. But saying Dark Souls isn't the first Souls game. It is the first Dark Souls game, but it's the I think
Demon Souls
would be the first one. But I don't all I played is Dark Souls, but I didn't think Demon Souls and Dark Souls were in the same franchise, even though they're by the same developer.
They're not. Dark Souls is like a spiritual sequel. There was some kind of rights issue basically with Demon Souls, and so that's why Dark Souls was made. But I think the creator is the same.
That was my understanding, is that they're kind of spiritually related, kind of like, as we were talking about on the last Top 5, Perfect Dark is to GoldenEye. So, yeah, he says the flood really put a damper on things. Yep, exactly. So, tonight we are talking about our top 5 favorite first games in a franchise. So, we did have a couple stipulations similar to the stipulations were almost identical to another top 5 we had not that long ago. Which one was that? I think was it Franchise Revivals? I think it was Franchise Revivals. Because so obviously first game in a franchise, in order for it to be a franchise, has to have more than one game in it. So if it's just one standalone game, it does not qualify. And then the other one is one that Jason and I decided on, is that spin-off franchises count as separate franchises. So it's not like a gigantic franchise like Mario. The only one that would count would be the original Mario. Basically, the first one in any of the spin-off franchises would also count, like Mario Party or like the first Paper Mario. That would count as well. Yeah, the original Mario Kart on Super Nintendo, that would count as well. So that's basically it for stipulations. I put a couple of extra stipulations on myself, as I usually do. But that kind of gives the rundown for tonight. I wasn't really able to think of any like starter questions for this one, because this is more of a broader topic than something specific to a genre or franchise. So didn't really have anything to start off with. So we'll go ahead. Oh, and I see another a new face in chat. I'm assuming that's probably maybe from someone else's chat, since we are multi-streaming to a couple of your channels as well. So Jason Christian saying, "Hola, good evening, Jason. Welcome to Top 5." So, and
what up, Jason?
Dude says Sony owns Demon Souls and Bloodborne. Maybe we'll get the Bloodborne remake for the PS6. So, would Final
Fantasy...
Fantasy...
high on copium tonight.
It says, would Final Fantasy VII would count? I don't know enough about Final Fantasy to say so, but I wouldn't think so.
So
since
it would
direct sequel to Final Fantasy
So
VI.
the thing with Final Fantasy
In the
is that
numbering.
none of them are direct sequels.
That's probably where he's going with that. I did not even
And-
think about that because Final Fantasy is
And
a weird one.
some of them, especially I think 7 and 13 at the very least, are kind of their own sub-franchise because Final Fantasy 7 has a ton of games inside it. Final Fantasy 13 has 3 Final Fantasy 13s.
That's true.
So
Mhm.
That is a good question, and I did not think about that because I'm not well versed in Final Fantasy. But I would have to say that only Final Fantasy 1 would count since they are numbered. But like I said, I don't know much about Final Fantasy, so that would be more Jake. He's more well versed in that.
I would say that the only Final Fantasy 1 would count because they all, even though they're all like different, all the stories are disconnected and all that, they still share tons of elements. So it's still part of a singular franchise.
Okay. That's kind of what I would think, but I would leave that up to Jason to decide if it came down to it.
well, I would basically say that if there are enough games in that specific sub-franchise, then it should count. Kind of like what you were saying with spin-offs. That's that's what I would argue.
I could go either way on it.
If part
If it-
3 of Remake was out, I would consider 7 Remake part of it, but it's not out yet, and I'm not going to go with, Remake and Rebirth as a franchise quite yet. But when the third one comes out, then I can see putting 7 Remake as part of the first
Well,
one.
not 7 remake, but the original 7, it had a bunch of
Yeah.
spin-offs as well. Like I
Right.
can't remember all the names, so like Crisis Core and
Ender
so on.
Cerberus and all that stuff. Yeah, there's a bunch.
The best Final
Yeah, there you go.
Fantasy.
So
Yeah, the way
it's not
I would
on my
do it,
list though.
the way I would do it is if I was to include something like that, it wouldn't place it as high in the top 5. That's just how I would do it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And actually, I have one that's kind of like that, and we'll get into that.
All right. Jason says, what's the question? So we are ranking tonight. We're just about to get started on ranking our top 5 favorite first games in a franchise. So we did have a couple stipulations. Sub-franchises count as separate franchises. So someone, dude over on Rumble asked about Final Fantasy. I don't know much about Final Fantasy, so that's why we're talking about that for a few minutes on which Final Fantasies would count as a sub-franchise and which would not. But anyways, as per usual, Jason is here tonight. So it is customary for him to start us off with number 5. So, Jason, what is your number 5 favorite first game in a franchise?
So mine's is a combination of there's 2 games for it, and then there was like an offshoot. So I'm linking them all together. But my number 5, I'm putting the guy that's right behind me. As you can see him, Parappa the Rappa. He's gonna be my number 5.
Okay, I was gonna be like, I cannot tell what that is.
Yeah.
The rapper. Okay, I know you're a big fan of that. There was a stream that I was watching last week where someone mentioned it, like they had like no idea what the game was. So, I know we talked about this on previous ones, but what do you love so much about Parappa the Rapper?
It's a music game. Like I said, there's gonna be a lot of overlapping, so this one might be quick for me because again, if this is your first time watching, you probably have heard me talk about these games a lot. But yeah, no, it's a great easy rhythm game to get into. The music's great. Songs are catchy. Characters are fantastic. It's a Sony game that needs to come back. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
And I probably ask this like every time you talk about it because it does come up a lot. But how many games are there in this franchise?
3.
Okay.
Unless there's one that I'm missing, but usually I believe there's 3. There's 1, 2, and then Jammy Lammy.
Okay. Yeah, I know we've talked about Jammy Lammy, but I didn't realize, you told me and I forgot that is part of the same franchise.
Yeah.
So, okay, Parappa the Rapper. I know, yeah, it's like this game gets mentioned a lot because Jason is a big fan of this franchise. So he has talked about it plenty in the past. But I also see Ariel Ballet in the chat. Good evening, Ariel. Good to see you. Asking about why those spinoffs that are going to lead to a long tangent. So, and I don't know, like I said, I don't know much about Final Fantasy, so we're not going to get back into it.
I
But
think
good
she
to see
missed
you.
our long conversation earlier.
If you jump back a few minutes, you can catch us arguing about what in Final Fantasy would count and wouldn't count for being a first game in a franchise. So, but good to see you either way. So, and yes, as Dude mentions, Parappa the Rappa series has retro achievements. I do remember him bringing that up or either he or I brought it up last time where that game came up. So, so let's go ahead and go with Lois. What is your number 5 favorite first game in a franchise?
Oh, my number 5 is going to be the first game that I ever beat back when I was probably like 3 or 4 years old.
Interesting.
Yes. And that is Kirby's Dream Land.
Kirby's Dream Land.
Yep.
That's a Game Boy game, right?
Yep, original Game Boy. Now, for my number 5, I actually had a extremely difficult time picking. I have like 2 others that I want to talk about, but we'll get to them in the honorable mentions. But I wanted to pick this one just because it's the first game I ever played, first game I ever beat, and it went on to be an amazing series, especially on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I know very little about the Kirby franchise. The only Kirby game that I ever played are Smash Brothers. I've never played an actual Kirby game. What Kirby game was on Super Nintendo?
Kirby Superstar and Kirby's Dream Land 3, I believe, as well.
Okay.
Superstar is still like the best Kirby game in my opinion. I don't think they're ever going to top that one.
There is a Kirby game that I have on my list that I want to play because I think Dude told me it was a Metroidvania. I think it was on GBA.
That's the Amazing Mirror, I believe.
Yes, that one. That's the one. That probably be the first dedicated Kirby game I play.
Yeah, it's Metroidvania-like. I wouldn't call it a very good Metroidvania, though.
Okay.
It's all right as a Kirby game, but I wouldn't call it a good Metroidvania.
So okay. So yeah, Kirby. Back on the original.
Maybe that's a hot take. I don't know.
I know. I have no idea. So I just, someone's like, oh, I mentioned I hadn't played a Kirby game. They're like, oh, you love Metroidvanias. You might like Kirby Amazing Mirror. So it's like, I'll put it on my list to play eventually. So.
I think you could probably still play Kirby Superstar. That one has like 4 or 5 different sub games in it, and one of them also kind of plays like a Metroidvania. So I think you would like that one.
Okay, I will take a look into that. Let's see. Let me write that down. Look into Kirby Superstar games. All right. So, cool. So this is the first one you played. Well, yeah, that answers that question. I would say, did you? Well, here is something though. When was the last time you did play this one?
That is a good question. I think
Been a very long time.
It's definitely not back when I was like 3. I probably played it on an emulator back in like 2010 or something like that.
Okay.
And I remember like blasting through the game. It's super short. It's not very difficult at all. Anyone can play this game.
Okay. Uh-oh.
That's the nice thing about Kirby games. It's complicated enough to do stuff, but it's simple enough to get everybody to play it.
Yeah, and even for like the reputation Nintendo had back in these days, this game is not hard at all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, on the original game. You still have your cartridge?
No, I never owned it. I played it on a relative's Game Boy.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I actually beat the whole thing. When we did eventually get our Game Boy, we still never got this game. The other big game that I played during this time was Mario Land 2. And so I put a ton of hours into that game.
Okay.
But I did not have Kirby's Dream Land. I only played it on a relative's Game Boy.
Gotcha. Oh, hey, that little spike creature. That's the exact same one that's in Link's Awakening.
Yep. And Smash Bros.
Yep.
King DDD throws them around.
Yeah. Oh, so are those originally from Kirby?
Yep.
Oh, I thought they were from Zelda.
No, yeah. Link's Awakening has a few Kirby references, including Kirby himself. There's a little enemy that looks like Kirby in the Eagles Tower.
Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about. Because there are a few other Nintendo franchises that are in Link's Awakening. Like there's a Yoshi doll and there's some Chain Chomps. So I just didn't realize there was stuff from Kirby in the game as well. So
all of them join it.
All right. What about you, Nightmare? What is your number 5?
Hopefully,
that
I'm
worked.
coming through okay. I was having a connection issue earlier.
Yep, your
But,
fire explosion looked great.
Sweet. Cool. Yeah. So for my my number 5 top first game of the franchise is actually Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 from I think 2006. So this game, it's a very special game to me anyway. So I'll show the gameplay here.
I think we've talked about this before because I was asking you, like, what do you like more about this one than the second one?
Yeah, I mentioned it on a previous stream as well. So what's really special about this one is it just has this huge roster of Marvel superheroes. It's jam-packed full of Marvel Comics references. They do a great job of writing the story. The main villain is Doctor Doom. And it's just a really fun action RPG, top-down kind of style, or more isometric, I guess. But yeah, you pick your favorite team of 4 characters, and then you just fight through the game, and you can swap them out pretty much anytime at any save point. So it's a ton of fun. Very well written. The story is very good. And what makes it even better is that it has this massive modding community. So you can find mods for just about any character you want. I contributed to that community as well. So we were able to, for instance, expand the roster of characters you can select from like 27 all the way up to like 50. And the mods include characters from outside of Marvel too. So like there are tons of DC character mods now as well. So like Superman, Batman, all those characters. And it's just a really great time if you are a Marvel fan. And none of the sequels ever came close to how great this was.
Okay. I think that at least on the consoles, I think it got delisted. So the best place to play this is on PC.
Well, so it's not available on Steam. It's not available. Yeah, it's not available on consoles. It got delisted on Steam as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it just got delisted everywhere. So the original was never on Steam. What was on Steam was a remaster, but a remaster of 1 and a remastered port of 2. But they were both delisted years ago. I think pretty much when Activision delisted all their Marvel stuff. So
lame. So is there any way to get your hands on this now if you didn't buy it back then, other than a physical copy for consoles? That's what I had a feeling you were going to say.
I'll just leave that there for you.
Not promoting
it's actually
anything,
very easy.
When they don't make it available anywhere, that's really your only option.
Yeah, and if you find your way into the modding community, there is actually a very easy way to get your hands on a copy that is prepped for modding and playing. So,
who is your favorite character to play as in Ultimate Alliance?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Nice.
Yep.
Is he he is your favorite Marvel character, right?
I would say so. Iron Man comes very close, but I think Spider-Man is my number 1 there. Okay.
Yeah, Iron Man's my favorite.
Yeah. I remember I made a ton of mods for Spider-Man and Iron Man. I even made the so in terms of DC mods, I actually made the Robin mod. So there, if you want to do like Batman and Robin, you can do that.
Nice.
Yep. And I made as I am obligated to, I made a Tobey Maguire suit mod for Spider-Man.
Absolutely. Yep. Obligated to.
Yeah. Oh, not just a suit mod. I made a Tobey Maguire voice mod as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So the secondary voice lines are replaced with Tobey's voice.
That's
I did the same thing with Robert Downey Jr. for Iron Man as well.
Because the voice actors in the game are just like generic people.
Yeah, the random voice actors from other stuff.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yep.
So, while we're on the topic of not exactly modding, but user-created content, I miss it when he said it, but when we were talking about Kirby's Dream Land, Dude wrote the retro achievement set for Kirby's Dream Land. So, shout out to Dude for that. So it looks like someone else has come in and written some achievements as well, but he wrote the original set. If anyone plays Kirby Dream Land on retro achievements, so cool.
Lotus, I also like Shadow the Hedgehog, so don't feel bad about that.
Oh, I don't feel bad about it at all. I'm proud of it. It's literally the last good Sonic game.
That game has the best Sonic theme song of all time.
Yeah, that game is definitely an unguilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, if you ever do a top 5 guilty pleasures, that one will not be on my list. Just saying.
I don't think we have that.
You know
as
what?
a
Oh, there you
topic. So
go.
I'm adding that now. Guilty pleasures.
Now that you say that, I actually don't think I have 5 guilty pleasures. I probably couldn't even make a list for that.
The guilty
Well,
pleasures
we'll
are
see.
tough because if you like it, it's not really a guilty pleasure, but like you have
Yeah.
to convince yourself to others it is one. So that's why that's always a tough one. Like I can't think of 5 because I love them all. Like they're not
Yeah.
guilty pleasures; they're my favorites.
Basically, everything I like is a guilty pleasure because
right.
everyone else tends to hate the stuff I like. So
I define a guilty pleasure as more of a game that you enjoy that you're embarrassed to admit that you enjoy.
I like all my games.
well, see, then we'd be digging into the kinds of games that I tend to give James.
So,
Oh, dude. I always have to mention this. Because I always forget. Shadow the Hedgehog was the last good Sonic Team game. Sonic Mania don't count because that wasn't made by Sonic Team. That game is amazing.
Yeah, that was made by Christian
okay.
Whitehead, right?
Yeah, but I always forget. I gotta make
gotta
that
clarify
distinction. Yeah.
So, and Jason Christian said that his favorite first game in a franchise is the original God of War. Nice, but it's just Lois is going to be pissed about that.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
I haven't played them, but I know I would like them, and I do have them on the backlog to play someday.
At least, assuming you mean the original God of War.
Yeah, the PS2, right?
Yeah, PS3 one. PS3, I think.
Well, I think they remastered it for PS3, but it was the original
Okay.
3, I believe, or at least the first 2, I think, were on PS2, and then God of War 3 might have been the first one that was on PS3. I haven't played any of them, so I'm just going off of what I think.
Yeah, just going off memory.
Yeah. So, so Jason says, in chat says, number 5 is God of War, number 4 is Dark Souls, number 3 is Five Nights at Freddy's, number 2 is Silent Hill, and number 1 is Metal Gear Solid. Nice. But you just said that God of War was your favorite. So why is it doing down at number 5? But cool. I always like to see your guys' lists in chat as well. And I saw that Ariel had a list as well. Did she delete it?
It's further down.
Yeah.
Metal Gear is a solid choice.
I got a list. Her number 5 is Lufia.
Oh, I had
4
to
is
scroll
Godzilla.
back up. Sorry, I had
Yeah.
to scroll farther
Yeah.
up. Because for me, it's in the opposite order of it is on the stream. So Ariel's number 5 is Lufia. Number 4 is Godzilla Destroy All Monsters. There it is. Number 3 is Arkham Asylum. I have a feeling that'll be showing up here on someone's list. And number 2, Blazing Angels. Ooh, shout out. I loved that game. That wasn't a 360 launch title, but it came out in the launch window, and I really enjoyed that game. And number 1, Suikoden, I think is how that's.
There he goes.
Yep,
Suikoden. Yeah, Suikoden.
Me and JRPGs.
Yeah, I wanted him to do it. I wanted him to suffer. Yeah, this. We still have to give him the receipt for crashing the JRPG stream. So.
So, hey, Carl's here as well. He doesn't know what system God of War came out on. It was PS2. See, that's what I said. I said it came out on PS2, and I think the first 2 were PS2, and I think God of War 3 was PS3 only. I could be wrong about that, but I knew that the first 2 at least were on PS2.
Because I know for a fact the whole trilogy was on PS3.
Yes, they did like a remastered trilogy or something on PS3. I do know about that.
Yep.
So,
yeah, that would make sense.
So, all right. As for myself and my number 5, I kind of wanted to put this one higher just because how much I love this game so much. And out of all of my top 5 for tonight's list, if I had to pick any one of these 5 on which one I want to go play right now, this is it. But that's only because I've played all of the other ones on here more recently than this one. But I talk about this game all the freaking time because I love it so much. It's probably one of my top 5 favorite games in the last 10 years. That is build stuff underwater. And hope you don't have thalassophobia. That is Subnautica. I love this game so much. I've beaten this game. In the last 4 years, I've beaten it on average 3 times a year, but I haven't beaten it since like last July. And that's why I want to go back and play it again the most. But I love this game, and I've beaten it probably like 15 times now. Yep. For anyone who loves like survival crafting, I think you would love this game. Water levels in games have a bad reputation, and this whole game is built around underwater, but it does it so well. The sequel, or it was originally going to be DLC. They spun it off into its own game, and that's called Below Zero. A lot of people say it sucks. It doesn't suck. It's just not as good as the first one. So if you like the first one, I think you will enjoy the second one. But despite all the behind the scenes crap that's going on with Krafton's the developer. Unknown Worlds, I think, is the developer. I am still super excited for Subnautica 2. And it doesn't really matter when it comes out because it got delayed again, but I will be playing that day one. I love this game so freaking much. And every time I think about it, I'm like, oh, I want to go start another playthrough. But it's like, nope, don't start playing it because then I'll get sucked in for another 25 plus hours when I have other games that I haven't beaten a million times that I should be playing instead. I love this game so much. And I just
I
pulled
would
it up.
probably love this too, looking at it now.
I know.
I've never actually watched footage of it, but looking at it now, I'm like, oh, here goes another 500 hours.
Yeah,
it's gone.
One of the things that, because I played this and then I played Satisfactory, and there's a lot of mechanics that I see from Subnautica in Satisfactory that make them so appealing to me. And since I know you love Satisfactory as well, I think you would really enjoy Subnautica as well. And yes, I pulled it up. It is Unknown Worlds, and I cannot wait for the second one. I don't know why it hasn't updated, because on True Achievements, it tracks your hours, and it says I have 178 hours in Subnautica, and I think I've beaten it twice, and the hour count hasn't gone up. So I probably have around 250 hours in Subnautica, if I had to guess, because I've beaten it so many times. I love this game so much, and I really cannot freaking wait for the sequel. So, but Subnautica isn't a franchise yet. Yes, it is, because there are 2 games, and despite Subnautica 2 not being out, that is the 3rd game in the franchise. So, no, it is not DLC. It's a standalone game. You do not need Subnautica to play Below Zero. You could play Below Zero by itself, so it counts as a sequel. Yeah, Lois, I think you would like it if you gave it a shot, and you can get it on well, I'm assuming on PC. Everything I play is for the most part on Xbox, unless it doesn't exist on Xbox. Then I'll play it on Steam for the most likely. But on Xbox, it goes on sale all the time for like $10. So I'm assuming it does the same on Steam.
Yeah, this looks like a good PC Master Race game. Not gonna lie.
I did buy it on Steam just so after I'd beaten it like a gazillion times, so I could play it modded. I haven't finished my modded playthrough, but I've added a lot of mods for. Not to obviously I've beaten it a bunch of times already anyways, but I modded it to add just like more stuff to build and a lot of quality of life improvements. So there's a pretty decent sized mod community out there for it as well.
Nice.
So, and Ariel said, Below Zero is what Dragon Age Awakening is to Origins. Is Dragon Age Awakening? Is that? I don't know. Is there a Dragon Age Awakening? I've never heard of Dragon Age Awakening. Or there's Dragon Age 2, Dragon Age Inquisition, and Dragon Age Veilguard, right? But no, Below Zero is not. What I'm assuming her point is she's saying that the second one sucks in compared to the first one. It doesn't suck. It's just not as good. A lot of people hate on Below Zero, but it's
Dragon Age Origins is an expansion. Awakening is an expansion for Dragon Age Origins.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of that one before, so I'm assuming it's not a standalone game, and you actually need Dragon Age Awakening in order to play, or Dragon Age Origins in order to play Awakening.
I'm guessing so. At the very least, I think they come together.
Because
Subnautica come together.
Do not need the first game in order to play Below Zero. That's the differentiator. It may have started out as a DLC, but it was released as its own game. It is not a DLC for the first one. So cheating Neo is modding to cheats. I've beaten it a bunch of times anyway, so I wanted to add some more spice into the game to give me, more interesting stuff to do in it, because I just love the game so much. And yes, the sequel is trying to be a multiplayer, or at least a version of multiplayer. Yeah, there is going to be multiplayer in it, which is one of the things that people have been asking for. In that I probably, so the reason why I joined Reddit way back in the day was for Destiny, and then after Destiny, I kind of fell out of Destiny. I didn't touch Reddit again until I started playing Subnautica, and then I lived in the Subnautica Reddit. And literally like every day you'd see a post like, hey, when can we play this game in multiplayer? So people have been very much wanting to play this game in multiplayer. So it's it wouldn't have fit the first two games because they are designed as a solo experience. Building Subnautica 2 as a multiplayer experience, I think it's going to fit well. And I look forward to playing it. So yeah. Awakening is a DLC to Origins. So no. Okay. Okay, you are agreeing with me. You weren't okay. Said no, Below Zero is fun. Yeah, it's just not as good as the first one. But many people out there say the second one, Below Zero, sucked. It didn't suck. It's just not as good as the first one. So people, being very hyperbolic as usual. So but all right.
Want to give a quick hi to Fallen Angel? He's hanging out in I think he's hanging out in my chat.
Yeah, I thank you. I didn't even notice that. What's up, Fallen Angel? Good to see you. Says the game is great, and I remember they fired the guy that made the music because they didn't like his take on politics. I don't know that firsthand, but I have heard that from reliable sources that they fired somebody for wrong things. So that is disappointing to hear. So wait, he uses Reddit. He's the first person I've heard that actually uses Reddit. I'm convinced Reddit is actually an experiment for testing AI. No, I'm on Reddit. Basically, the only Reddit I'm active in now is the Turtle Reddit, since I have turtles for pets. So I'm in the Turtle Reddit a lot. But yeah,
I used to use Reddit a long time ago, and then I got banned for saying something that would be totally normal in real life. So.
No real people use Reddit. Well, I'm a real person, but yeah, if you're going to Reddit for anything like politics wise, you're going to have a bad time. But I'm only there for like video games and turtles. So I usually don't see a whole lot of the crazy people on Reddit. So yes. And Below Zero was significantly shorter than the first. So, but all right. So with that, we will go ahead and get into our number twos. Let's see here.
Number four.
You mean number 4?
I do mean number 4. I was looking at the time and I was writing the number 2 because it got to the 32-minute mark. So our number 4s, thank you. Would have jumped way ahead. Our number 4s, and let's go ahead and have Lois kick us off with number 4.
All right. Well, people who know me are going to be shocked that this one's only number 4. But there's a few reasons for that. Number 4 for me is Trails in the Sky.
Oh, I think I just saw Angry Canadian just beat this like yesterday, and he had a very high opinion of it.
If it was just yesterday, was it the remake or the original?
I will check. He posted it on Fuse, so you go ahead and talk about Trails, and I will pull it up.
Okay. Yeah, because the remake of this game just came out on last Friday, and it's way longer than the original one. But so okay, there's a reason why this is only number 4 and not like number 2 or number 1. This is part of a series called The Legend of Heroes. This game is technically The Legend of Heroes 6, but the older Legend of Heroes games basically have nothing to do with this one. And a lot of the older Legend of Heroes games have barely anything to do with each other. So this was the first one where they started like a full continuous story. So from here on out, they're all set in the same world of Zemuria.
Oh, hey, look at that. Angry Canadian is in the chat. He says the original.
The original.
I pulled it up here. He gave it a legendary status, Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky on PC via Steam.
Yep. And so the reason this is also only number 4 because generally people consider this one to be the worst game in the series, even though it's still good. And the reason for that is just because, compared to the future games, the gameplay is really basic. It's really slow paced. There's not a lot that happens throughout the story compared to like other games where things are happening all the time. It's really a slow burn kind of game. So, and then the reason why it's so good as the first game of the Trails series is something I can't talk about because it's a spoiler.
How many games are there in the series?
There are now 13 Trails games.
Wow. I did not realize there were that many.
Is that mainline titles, Lowest, or does that include spin-offs?
All mainline. There's really only a small handful of spin-offs because they just focus on making the main series, and that's pretty much it. And then if they ever do a spin-off, it's usually just they get someone else to do it. So they have like a
There
few.
was a oh, go ahead.
I was going to say there's a few mobile games that have been released based on this series. And there was like a spin-off fighting game crossover with Ys, which is the company's other main series that they do.
Oh, the same company does Ys?
Yep.
Okay. I think Canadians been playing those lately as well.
Yeah, because
Yeah, first
are
game
action
is-
games, right?
No, the first one is turn-based. They're all turn-based up until Daybreak, which is the 11th one. And that one's like a hybrid of action and turn-based. Which is...
No, Ys. What? Ys.
Oh, Ys. Yeah, Ys is action series only.
Yeah. Yeah, but there was a at least I think it was a Trails spin-off called Legend of Nayata or something like that I picked up a long time ago. Never got around to playing it though. That I think was action based.
Yes, that one is an action game. It's still not completely confirmed that that one's connected to anything at all. So,
Which might be good because that might be the only Trails I play.
okay, yeah, that one's going to be very different. So, but yeah, you can play that one just as like a standalone game, and it's all right, I think.
Yeah, I remember last time you were on, you were talking about some other JRPGs franchise, and you're like, yeah, this one's got like 27 games in. I'm like, holy crap.
Actually, that was probably the Atelier series. That's the one that has.
That's
like,
what I was thinking. I was like, I think it was whatever you just said, because I don't know how to pronounce it, but that's the series I was thinking of.
Yeah, they're up to like 20 something. They crank those games out like crazy, and there's shockingly high quality each time somehow. Well,
I think there's one
some
coming out this
exceptions.
year with like a dual protagonist. I think it was like it's the first one with a male protagonist.
no, they've had male protagonists. Atelier Iris, the trilogy of Iris games on the PS2, those all had male protagonists.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Those are like games 7, 8, and 9 or something like that.
It was like the one I saw was like Atelier Resleriana or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's also based off of the mobile game that they released either last year or the year before that people were not happy about.
Oh.
So they're making it into like a standalone, or they're making like the sequel a standalone game. Something like that.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, I see it here. Atelier Resleriana, Red Alchemist, and White Guardian.
Yep.
And one of the two protagonists is a guy. So seems kind of cool.
So Ariel's chastising me. He's like, no, you got to pronounce it. So is it Atelier?
I think it's Atelier.
Atelier,
It's a
even though it's
French
like ER
word.
at the end. Okay.
Yeah.
It's French.
French.
So,
So you know, just bring out your inner need to surrender, and
Yeah, there you
you'll
go.
get it right.
Shoot, I was just going to ask something about it, but now I don't remember what I was going to say because Ariel detracted me by trying to pronounce it. Oh, that's what I was going to ask. So this Trails in the Sky, what was it originally on? Was it PC only, or was it on a console?
In Japan, it released on PC, and then it released on PSP. So
Okay.
the PSP version was the first version that we got over here, but then we didn't get second chapter, which was a problem because spoiler reasons. We didn't get second chapter until 2016, I think. Whereas we got the first Trails in the Sky in 2012. And then in between that, we got Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2, which both came out around like 2015-ish.
I've heard of those ones.
Yeah. So for anyone who got into the series early like I did, it was kind of a mess. So I played Trails in the Sky, then Cold Steel 1 and 2, and then Sky 2, and then Sky 3, and then Cold Steel 3, and then I went back and played Zero and Azure, which take place before Cold Steel. It was a disaster.
It's funny because I think on a recent episode of Party Chat, we were talking about franchises we played out of order. So that would have been a great answer for you.
Oh, Carl says the PSP Collector's Edition is nice. I got it too. I'm glad I did too, because that thing skyrocketed in price too.
Nice. So, yeah, Canadian says he's currently on Ys 7 at the moment. So
Okay. I'm gonna throw another hot take out there. I think E7 is the worst one, but it's still pretty good.
okay.
One
East,
question
East is
about
pretty,
East,
it's
though.
consistent
um,
quality in that series.
Can you jump into any East game without worrying about the previous ones?
Yes, but
Okay, good.
I recommend playing East Origin first because that's like a series prequel.
Okay, makes sense. Because I know there are a bunch of them on GOG, and I have like the
Yeah.
newest ones, I think, except like the last one. So
Yeah, so East Origin is like the prequel to the series. It's also my favorite in the series. I love East Origin so much.
oh, it's on sale right now too.
And when you brought up Trails, this is Trails in the Sky. Canadian all said that the first game is very cozy, comfort food feeling. So
Absolutely. That's kind of what the games are now. The plot has kind of devolved and gone silly over the years. So I just kind of go into it just as like a JRPG comfort food kind of thing as well.
okay.
But the
As long as
the last one, the 13th game in this series, kind of turned everything on its head. So it's like that's why my video about that game was an hour and 47 minutes long. So yeah. This is also like the series that has gotten me the most viewers
Oh,
on my
nice.
channel. So yep, I will always love Trails in the Sky.
All right. So cool.
Oh, I see. There's a East versus Trails in the Sky, another crossover coming out soon.
Yep.
Oh, I think I saw Canadian mention that. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's been out in Japan since like 2009, 2010 or something like that. We're
Nice.
just now getting it.
It's like we make those jokes to like the third world countries. It's like, yeah, they just got like Super Nintendo last week. It's like we're the ones in this regard from Japan getting these like old franchises finally.
Yeah, I hear about that a lot. Like people in like Indonesia or whatever, they're like really, really into PS3 and PS4 now because like they can't afford buying PS5s over there.
I think the Dreamcast was huge in Brazil for an extremely long time too.
Oh yeah, I bet.
So, all right. Oh, so Trails in the Sky for number 4. Yeah, I think your buddy Jason was like shocked that it wasn't higher on your list. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's because of those. It's in that weird gray area because it's still part of the Legend of Heroes franchise, but it's also like its own thing at the same time. So, I've played Legend of Heroes 3 and 4, and there's like barely any similarities aside from it being a turn-based game. But there's like these little small things that you notice if you've played Trails in the Sky. It's like, oh, that's where they got this mechanic, or that's where this little design element came from. So, other than that, though, they're like way different.
So, and Jason wanted me to point out because I was like, he said God of War, and then it was his number 5. So he wanted to explain. He says, many for me, Metal Gear was his number 1 because it was his first proper game he played and beat. So kind of like Kirby Dream Land for you, Lowest. I love the stealth that in many games before it failed, but they made it work and mastered every element. Yeah, I haven't played any Metal Gear games except for Rising or Vengeance, but I do love stealth games. So I will, at some point, I will probably play through the Metal Gear franchise.
Oh, you already played the best one.
Yeah, and Metal Gear Solid is one of those weird hard ones. Like for me, I wouldn't put that as a number 1 in the franchise because technically it's a third one. So, but yeah, it's its own game. It's its sub series, but it's technically it's a third game. So.
Yeah, I guess that's true because you got the old Metal Gears, and then but if you're going by that, then I guess
it's weird.
Metal Gear Rising would then be its own spinoff.
Yeah,
it's weird. That's one of those kind of if it's those weird kind of things.
Yeah, I haven't played Metal Gear Solid 1, but I did play 2, 3, Peace Walker, a little bit of 4, and I played 5.
Yeah, I played the Twin Snakes version of 1. Then I played 2, 3, 4. Or no, I played 2, 3, and then I played Peace Walker, and then yeah, mm, yeah, maybe just Peace Walker, and then I did play 4 and 5, and then finally I got to Rising, and I was like, you know what, I should have just gone with I should have just played Rising.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying that. It's like I should just.
I didn't need to bother with all this other stuff. What am I doing?
Oh, Canadian just mentioned you can play the older Legend of Heroes games on the Switch eShop. I actually did not know that.
Ah, good shout out
Nice.
to the eShop. So, if you're interested in the, oh, it says you play a lot of these PC Engine. Oh wow, Legend
Yeah.
of Heroes games on the Switch eShop. Okay, interesting. So, all
That's
right.
what most of Falcom's early stuff was released on the PC Engine over in Japan.
I'd never even heard of the PC Engine until I think DJ Access told me about it on when I had it on for Open Mic a while back. So
Yeah, they might have other names. I think like PC 98 or something like that. I don't remember what it was exactly.
So,
but yeah, I think those were just consoles we either didn't get or they were so niche that nobody knows about them.
They're very niche.
Yeah. Look, when I'm on Retro Achievements, it's got some of these platforms and that I've never even heard of, like the Fairchild F or something. Like, what the crap is that?
Yeah, there are a lot of weird ones out there.
All right, so I think I'll go ahead and I'll go next for our number 4. And I forgot to mention before we started that because I did mention at the start that I had a couple extra stipulations that I put on myself, but I forgot to mention what those were. So the main additional stipulation that I put on myself is also has to be something where I've played more than just the first game. So there's franchises that have more than one game, but I've only played the first one. That would not count for me in this one because I just self-imposed stipulation that if I hadn't played other games in the franchise, that game would not be eligible for this list. So
did you also do the thing where if it's your favorite game in the franchise, so like if we do more in the future, you can't have the same game in the franchise? So
that was what the other thing I was about to mention is I also tried to be it has to be my favorite in the franchise. So if there's one in the franchise later that I liked more, I couldn't pick it. But
yeah,
I couldn't do. There's a couple that I have to that'll be on this list. And when we do second or third games of the franchise, another game from that franchise will be in this list as well. But I haven't made my list for second game in a franchise or third game in a franchise, but just knowing myself, I kind of have an idea. So I couldn't limit myself to that because there are some of these games where there's multiple games in the first 3 games in the franchise that I absolutely love. So, but I tried not to, if at all possible. So, with that disclaimer said, so my number 4 is one of the best freaking intro menu screens of all time. The original Halo. I have so many good memories of playing this game. This is probably the game I've had the most fun playing in multiplayer in my entire life because this was huge when I was in high school. Me and all the guys on my soccer team all would go over to each other's houses like all the freaking time. And we would have typically on average, we would have 8 people. And there were plenty of times we had all 16. We had 4 boxes and 4 TVs. We had LAN cables running down the hallway and splitting up our teams doing like 8v8 and stuff. I had so much fun playing Halo 1 back in the day. Those are days I wish I could go relive because those are some of my most favorite memories from high school. And playing through the campaign, I've done the campaign many times, legendary solo, but it's even more fun in co-op. I've played it in co-op many times as well. There is nothing bad about this game, and it still has one of, if not the best pistol of all time. What I played for a long time before I got really good at the multiplayer, and I'm like, well, how are you guys so good, and how am I always dying? They're like, you're not using the pistol. I'm like, no, it's a pistol. Why would I be using the pistol? It's like, try using the pistol. I'm like, oh, this is a game changer. And that's when I really fell in love with the multiplayer because that is one of the greatest pistols ever created in all of video games. I love Halo so much, and yeah, there's just so many good memories of this game, and the reason why I got an Xbox. I didn't get it on launch, but Halo was the reason why I got an Xbox, and I just love this game so freaking much. So um, I'm sure everyone else has good memories of Halo as well. I also I don't remember if it was on my stream or a stream that I was in, but I also have yep, the PC version by no, Gearbox did the PC version, and someone in a stream, either I was on yesterday or the day before, or I was in a stream and it came up. Someone was mentioned that the PC port was terrible. I thought it was great because I actually had the PC version before I had the Xbox version, because I didn't actually have an Xbox myself until very late in the Xbox life cycle, and I only got it for playing Halo with all my bros. But I never had any problem with this. And the thing that I really liked about this is there were 6 additional multiplayer maps that weren't in the Xbox version, and there were a couple additional weapons as well. Like in the weapon exists in the campaign, the fuel rod cannon, but whenever you kill an enemy that has it, it explodes. You can never pick it up. In the PC version, the fuel rod cannon is there, and you can pick it up and use it, as well as the flamethrower, and that thing is killer. Not a great range, but it'll kill anything like crazy fast. So and the reason why I got this is because I had a PC that could run it before I had an Xbox for Halo. But because original Halo was before the existence of Xbox Live, so you couldn't go on Xbox Live and play original Halo. Obviously, you could go online and play Halo on PC against people all over the world. So that was a lot of fun as well. But I didn't spend anywhere near as much time playing Halo on PC as I did on Xbox with all my buddies. So yeah, and dude says Halo 1 has the most replayable campaign. Oh, that's a good question. Which one's the most replayable? I don't know, but they're all great. So my number 4 is Halo 1. So, and I've got my Halo Xbox's copies are right here as well. So I've got the PC and the Xbox copy. So yeah. So anyone else have anything you want to pitch in on Halo 1? Unless it's maybe not, because maybe it'll be higher on your list than it is on mine.
I think you summed it up best. A lot of us owned an Xbox is mostly because of this game.
Thank you, Lois, for bringing that up. I didn't even think to mention that. And it gave us Red versus Blue, which I absolutely loved. And I watched like religiously up through like season like 13.
You can thank Ariel for reminding me.
Oh, did Ariel put it in chat?
Yep.
So thank you, Ariel, for mentioning Red versus Blue, because I freaking love it. I could recite like the first 3 seasons of Red versus Blue like by heart. I loved Red versus Blue. I got all of my buddies into it. I stumbled across Red versus Blue by accident. And this was before they actually didn't even put it on YouTube for many, many years later, but Red versus Blue existed before YouTube, and I don't remember how I found it, but I stumbled across it by accident. I'm like, this is freaking hilarious. And I got all my buddies into it, and they all fell in love with it too. I have seen up to like season 16 or 17. There's still a couple seasons that I haven't seen. I'll go back at some point and watch all the way through it from start to end. But yeah, Red versus Blue is hilarious. And when I hear the word machinima, Red versus Blue is the epitome of machinima. I don't know if they're the ones that are like they're the reason machinima exists. I don't know if there was machinima before Red versus Blue, but if you say machinima, Red versus Blue is the first thing I think of, and it was freaking hilarious. So, thank you, Lois, for mentioning Red versus Blue, or sorry, Ariel for mentioning Red versus Blue. Yep, Canadian as well, RVB. So,
I think we got into it on the shooter one. But I had Halo 2 on my top 5 shooters.
Okay.
I think. And I actually didn't play the first one all that much because we never really owned it. We only owned the second one.
Let's see here.
But I did play it. We did borrow it, and I didn't get into it until Halo 2 came out. I think it was just like the refined gameplay of 2, and I think the multiplayer was probably a bit better. But I don't know what people's opinions are on that, because
personally, I like 1 more than 2. But 2 was the first one that had Xbox Live, and that's really what put Xbox Live on the map. So
right.
But yeah, I pulled up top 5 shooters, and Halo 2 was your number 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and Arrow says, wasn't Red versus Blue and Ruby one? Well, really, it was Red versus Blue, but yeah, Ruby became a pretty big franchise. Well, I watched a few episodes of it, but I never really got into it. I heard it went way off the rails, but that was long after I stopped watching it. They had a couple other machinimas that Red versus Blue or that Rooster Teeth did as well. They had a short series that they did in the game Fear, and it was what was it? They made a new acronym for it. It was like, or they called it something else. It was like, it was called Panics, but it took place. They did a machinima in the game Fear, and it was called Panics. It was like people acting normal in crazy ass situations is what it stood for. That it wasn't as good. They did a short series as well, and I forget what this one was called, but they did one in Shadowrun, the 360 game, not the original one because that's like an RPG. But so there was the first person shooter that was kind of like Team Fortress Shadowrun. They did a short one in that, and that was pretty funny as well. But that was pretty short lived. It was like 6 episodes. But yeah, good times with Halo and Red versus Blue, and sometimes we just dick around in Blood Gulch and try seeing how far we could launch the Warthog because vehicles weren't destructible. So we'd have like 4 guys stick grenades to the back of the Warthog and everyone shoot rockets at the same time and see how far we could get out of the map. Good times. So Angry Canadian says Ruby was good too. Okay. So, but all right. Let's go with Nightmare for your number 4.
All right. So this one might come as a little bit of a surprise.
Oh, there, as I mentioned earlier, the Mario RPGs, I just didn't know which one was the first one.
Yeah. So
I'm assuming
Luigi
that's
Superstar
the
Saga.
RPG series, right?
Yes, the Mario and Luigi RPGs. So Superstar Saga, Partners in Time, Bowser's Inside Story, and so on. So yeah, my answer here is going to be Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. And this is what makes this especially special in my case is I am really not into turn-based RPGs. I do not enjoy turn-based combat at all. But this game is so charming and just plain fun that I absolutely love it. And I think it is my favorite in the series. And it did get a remake in a few years back. And it's a great remake. But I'm just showing the original here from Game Boy Advance.
That was going to be my next question. Is like, that looks like a GBA game.
Yep. It is a GBA game, but the remake was on 3DS.
Okay.
And yeah, in my opinion, this is the best game in the series. The sequels are just not quite as good. I don't know much about Brothership, so maybe that one's better.
That's the one that just came out not that long ago, right?
Yep, the one on Switch. Also, Fawful, this character right here is talking. His weird English is part of what makes this game so entertaining. Because everything he says is just completely ridiculous. But this game has a nice blend of humor and, well, mostly humor. But it's a great adventure. And the combat, what's also nice about the turn-based combat is they have, as you can see, these action commands here. So if you hit the button, right when you jump on him, it'll increase your attack, and then there's the dodging and.
Oh, they got that from the South Park RPGs.
I think it would be the other way around.
Yeah, so that's the only game that I played that had that mechanic in it, and
gotcha.
Made it much more enjoyable than
it makes the turn-based combat much more.
I'm tolerable. Not a fan of turn-based combat, as pretty much everyone knows, but I enjoyed the South Park RPGs, and they had that in it. Which, I'm sure they got that from somewhere else, but I wouldn't know what the first game that did that mechanic would be.
I don't know. I know. I think the Paper Mario games did it too. So.
I've heard that.
Yeah, all the Mario RPGs for sure did it, but I don't know what started it before then.
Well, I don't know if I don't remember if the original Super Mario RPG did it or not.
Yeah, if you I don't know about on defense, but I know on offense, if you hit the A button on a jump, it would work.
Okay, yeah. So, and it's just a great adventure. It's a very funny story, and it's just a great time. Plus, Luigi's in it, so how Luigi, especially back then, Luigi just did not get enough love.
Yeah. And how was this one of those like ridiculously long RPGs, or is it one how long is this one?
I couldn't give you a number, but it's not like painfully long. It's a reasonable length.
It's not Trails long.
Yeah, there was a reason why it was on the GBA. Like it was a decent size. Like it wasn't long, but it was like enough to have a good game on the go kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because my one GBA RPG was like 200 hours, so it took me a long time, but I 100%ed it. And that was one of my top 5 JRPGs when I came into that stream. Okay, yeah, I just pulled it up on how long to beat, and it says main story is only like 18 hours. So yeah, that's not too long. So what? Oh, Lois, when you said it's not Trails long, how long is Trails, or at least the first one that you were talking you showed off earlier?
Well, the first one's the shortest one, and that one will take you around 40-ish hours.
Okay, that's not too bad. But I'm assuming that's just like for a standard playthrough, not like 100%.
Yeah, but generally once you get into the series, you get into the habit of like looking for just about everything. It's just more fun that way. And then once you start doing that, then the later games will take you up to 100 hours.
That's
If
kind of
not
what I
long-
was expecting.
If not more, if you play on the harder difficulties.
So Nightmare, so did you play Superstar Saga back when it was new, or did you play it more recently?
So I played this when it was relatively new. So when I was a kid, I had a Game Boy Advance, and I played through it, and I always got stuck at the final boss. And then, years later, I did finally beat it. And then I did play Partners in Time, and then that was it for a long time. And then a few years back, I did finally get the remake, and then I played that. I did replay Partners in Time, and then I played the remake of Bowser's Inside Story. And at the very least, of those 3, I will say Superstar Saga is the best. Although my favorite little sidekick thing is going to be Stuffwell from Partners in Time, because he's very adorable, and I can't stand Starlo. I find her very annoying.
Okay.
Yeah, I still haven't played these either. I was a fan of the Paper Mario games, but I haven't tried one of these yet.
If
But
you like
it's
Paper
on the
Mario, I think you'll like these.
But yeah, and it's on the Switch Online thing, so I could just play it there. I might stream it one of these days. Who knows? Some people in my chat have been bugging me to do that. So
Superstar Saga does also have a retro achievement set, if anyone's interested in playing it for retro achievements. So we got October Mike in chat saying hello. What's up, October Mike? Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you are doing well. Good evening.
yo, Mike.
OG Superstar Saga is better than the 3DS remake. I have it on Wii U, the good old virtual console. All right. One day y'all should do world's worst starting games that turned out to be peak. Ooh, that's an interesting idea. I'll write it down.
Like the worst first games in a franchise that ended up being a good franchise.
I know exactly what my number 1 is. I'd have to go do some homework, figure out what 2 through 4, 5 are.
Yeah, I might have a couple for that. Not a ton, but a couple.
Franchise. And who was it? That was
I can't
Jason.
even think of one.
Same.
All right. If we do that one, I will credit you, Jason, since that was your idea. That's a good idea. So I will put it on the list of potential topics. So, all right. Then that leaves us with Jason to finish off our number 4s.
Yeah, so these next 4 were the hardest for me because they could be easily number 1s for a lot of people. But my number 4 is easily the only game in the franchise that I even play is Pokemon Red and Blue. To me, the 150, the first gen Pokemon are the best. So easily when you say first game in a franchise, I had to choose this one. Because to me, the other ones, yes, they're great to some people, but again, to me, the 150 are my original Pokemon. They are my favorite. This game is my favorite, obviously, of the franchise. So yeah, I had to go Pokemon Red and Blue.
Okay. Which one did you have first?
I had Blue.
Yeah, Blue first.
Yeah, so I was gonna put Pokemon Blue, but I just figured we'll lump them together because they are technically the first of them. So we'll go with both together.
And what was your very first starting Pokemon? And of the 3 starting, which one is your favorite?
Oh, Squirtle. Oh no, yeah, Squirtle and Squirtle.
Squirtle. Okay. So that was the first one you picked, and that also became your favorite.
Yep. Yeah, I saw Blastoise on the thing, and I had to get Blastoise. So
I think if I had to pick one of the three, it would be Charizard, but I'm not like super fond of any of the three starters, really.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know, man. Squirtle is just he's a little turtle that did water moves. Like that's really cool to me. So, and then obviously when the show came out, when
He had
he was
cool
pretty
graphics.
cool at that too. Yeah. So like he had the attitude in a way. So yeah, Squirtle's always the number one guy. But like, who wouldn't want a Fire Tail Dragon? So like, so I can see definitely the thing of Charizard, and then obviously with the card game that came out and made him that way. So like, kind of boosted his stock as well with the game.
Hmm. I think we might have talked about this a little bit on the top 5 Pokemon thing, but
Probably did.
a lot of my favorite Pokemon are not in Gen 1, even though it was my first
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah, because for me, I like the simplicity of how Gen 1 was, where
Mhm.
like I understand like how good they are later on, but like I like the RPS version of 1. Like, granted, it's still there, but like I don't care for like, oh, there's 19 other types that kind of do things around it, and you can have certain things, and yeah. Like I understand, but I like just one beats one, this beats the other, this does this. So, and again,
Yeah.
I like the simplicity designs of the Gen 1. So I
Psychic
understand.
beats everything.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Gen 1's the only one that I know most of Gen 1. Right before you guys did, because I wasn't actually on that stream, but I did the day before. I stumbled across because the video I watched on YouTube. They mentioned they did a video on they were trying to quiz themselves, and there's this website where you can go and like test yourselves on trying to name the. I think they had a quiz for each generation. And I was like, well, the only one I actually know any are the first generation. Past that, the only ones I know are the ones that have shown up in Smash Brothers. But I went and I was like, oh, let me just try it, and I'll do this quiz on Gen 1, and I got like 120 or 130, so I got most of them. But yeah, I don't know basically anything past the 151. So, but yeah,
I think
dude,
the only one that I've ever fully played from beginning to end is Emerald.
I haven't actually played any of them.
And I did really like Emerald, and I was very, very disappointed when the remakes of that generation did not include a proper Emerald remake.
Oh yeah,
But-
I think Carl.
Yeah,
and
Nintendo's
Hugo told me about
basically
that.
Nintendo basically seems to have stopped doing definitive editions as they've gotten greedier over the years,
It's like,
because
that
they want you
makes
to
no
buy
sense.
both.
Oh, it's like I would think that they would, release the original versions, make a bunch of money, and then once that one slows down, release the definitive edition. Because, like, dude says, yeah, Fire Red and Leaf Green are better than Red and Blue because they're, the definitive editions. So
Well, I thought
They could-
Yellow.
they
was
could have
the
just
definitive
done-
edition.
that
Yeah,
arguably
yeah.
could be, could be the definitive edition as well. But Fire Red and Leaf Green were on GBA, so they were a little
Yeah.
more upgraded.
I was gonna say they could just do like Emerald as like a DLC or something for the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, but I don't think people would like that very much.
Well, they did do Emerald, a kind of a Delta Emerald DLC with the Ruby and Sapphire remakes, but it's not the same thing as like an actual Emerald remake game.
Oh, I don't even remember that at all.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here.
They could have also done a Pokemon Z, but they never did that until now, sort of.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, isn't that Z to A is coming out real soon?
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that will bring us into our number threes. Nightmare, do you want to kick us off for number 3?
Sure. And this one shouldn't be a surprise at all. So Spider-Man 1 from 2002 is going to be my number 3 here. So a big part of this, I will admit, is nostalgia, and I mean, yes, the sequel, Spider-Man 2, is better in just about every way. But there is something really special about this game in that it's one of the first movie adaptations to, first of all, it had Tobey Maguire and Willem Dafoe in it. So they actually got, and keep in mind, this is back in 2002. This wasn't something that happened very often. They managed to get the actors from the movie in the game.
Yeah, it was
the
always
main
like
actors.
you get the person from the movie to voice the character in the game. It's like that's definitely noteworthy.
Yeah, they managed to do it. They managed to get Toby for all 3 games too, which is pretty cool. But it is it's one of, beyond just being, great adaptation and all that. It's a game where you can actually tell the developers put a lot of love and care into it, because the game, and keep in mind, this is Activision. So this was Treyarch, who now just make Call of Duty, the same Call of Duty game every couple of years.
Yeah, and
Uh,
did the same thing
yeah.
with Raven. They made great games, and now all they do is
Yep.
Call of Duty crap.
I think Raven made Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Yeah.
Oh, did they? That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, so this was back when Activision, they were able to still care. There were a ton of like unlockables in this game. You could unlock a ton of costumes. There were tons and tons of cheat codes in this game you could use for all sorts of goofy nonsense. And even and so I think I've told this story before, but before they managed to secure Tobey Maguire, they had Josh Keaton do a bunch of the lines for Spider-Man. And when Tobey came on board, they had all these voice lines sitting around, and so they decided, instead of just dumping all of Josh Keaton's lines, they would make an unlockable game mode where you play as Harry Osborn's Green Goblin.
That's right. You did tell us about that.
Yep. And so they reused most of Josh Keaton's lines there, but they made him Harry Osborn, and so of course they would have had to have him re-record a few extra lines to make it all fit. But yeah, they, that is a sign of how much love they put into the game. Is you could play as Harry Osborn, as the Green Goblin, all just because they had these extra voice lines lying around.
Yeah,
and it's actually a pretty fun mode, but it's a lot easier than playing as Spider-Man.
Yeah, I remember playing through it. I think I rented this game, and when I unlocked Green Goblin at the end of the game, I'm like, "Oh, this is awesome!" And I played through the whole game again because it played completely different, and having his glider and stuff was really cool.
Yeah, it's really fun. And there's even and part of the nostalgia though is there's this bit at the beginning, the cutscenes, like the CGI cutscenes, they've put so much thought into. There's this bit that always gets me, if I can find the start of it. There we go. I hope the audio comes through.
Yeah, we're not hearing anything. But yeah, it's weird seeing Treyarch and it's not Call of Duty.
I did play this Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man movie game on GameCube.
I played it on GameCube as well. That's what I was going to ask you next, Nightmares. What did you play this on?
Oh, I know the issue. Hang on.
Oh, you forgot the audio?
I didn't turn on the monitor.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Let me rewind it. There you go. Yeah, so I had this on, I believe. See, every time I hear this, I just get so nostalgic for like 23 years ago. And there's no reason for this either. It's just like they just made a cool intro just because they felt like it. Yeah, so I had this originally on PS2.
Okay.
And then I had another copy on GameCube. And so as a kid, I never had an Xbox. But bizarrely, on Xbox, this game
I think Xbox version had some unique content.
It had some specific Craven levels.
That's right.
Which it's weird because, Sony was the ones who made the Spider-Man movies. They had the rights to Spider-Man, movie-wise anyway. But somehow Xbox got the exclusive Craven levels, which is always super weird.
That is awesome.
So I've been meaning to, and I might even do this on a stream someday, to just like get it all running in an emulator and play the Xbox version of this game and play it with the Craven levels included. But
there's a similar thing with I go on a little bit of a rant occasionally because with the original Splinter Cell was originally an Xbox console exclusive for a while, but PlayStation is the one that got the remastered of the original Splinter Cell trilogy. We never got that on Xbox. I'm still a little salty about that.
That is always so weird.
So kind of similar to this Craven thing. So Yeah, I remember. I only rented this game, but I remember having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, it's a great game. It's the gameplay is fairly similar to the old PS1 Spider-Man games, but obviously the graphics are way nicer, and it's based on the movie and all that. But yeah, there's just so much to this game too, and because it doesn't just adapt the movie, it also brings in a bunch of other super villains that you fight, like Scorpion, Shocker, Vulture.
Yeah, all the mains from the cartoon show.
Yeah, and what's also really funny is that Bruce Campbell makes a cameo in each of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films.
Mm-hmm.
He voices the tutorial guide in all of
right.
these games.
You remember you telling me about that?
Yeah, there's a bit where, and it might be in here, but there's a bit where in the tutorial, he'll just like say he's gonna go off and eat a sandwich.
What you doing up here, pencil neck?
Punch button. I'm gonna grab a ham sandwich.
So you can hear him.
Whenever you're done beating bad guys up, follow your compass and height meter.
Oh, that was another thing about it, though, because the limitation on the hardware, you couldn't actually go down to street level, right?
Yes. Yeah. So in this one, I don't know if it was a hardware limitation. It was probably just like a memory thing. Because the same you can hear him eating the sandwich now.
Okay, so here you are on the side of a building.
So it was great. So it wasn't a hardware limitation. It was just
The design decision.
it was just like I assume a design decision based on the game's memory and all that. Because the same generation, Spider-Man 2 came out on the same generation, PS2, GameCube,
Okay.
Xbox. So my guess is, and if you play the game, you might notice that the graphics are slightly worse on Spider-Man 2 versus Spider-Man 1. So it was likely just a decision of we'll make this game kind of like the previous ones, and then with 2 they actually went all in and made a full big
Or
open world game. Yeah. So
Nice. Yep. Yeah. Let's see here. Who said it's? Jason Chris says, "Yeah, I can tell Nightmare's a massive Marvel and DC fan. That he is."
yes, I am.
So, and October Mike says, "Raimi trilogy for the win." And Ariel says, "Well, Activision did make the 2009 Ghostbusters game, which I have now, and I will be playing at some point. I think Carl convinced me to play it." Yeah. October Mike mentioned the Xbox having the Craven levels. Yep.
Raven levels. Yeah, he says lizard though. I don't remember there being any lizard levels.
I think he was saying it was like one or the other, but
Okay. Yeah.
was my understanding. But Ariel says, I think we discussed before, but movies nowadays don't have game tie-ins. Yeah, and
it's a real
movie tie-in
shame.
Games have basically disappeared, probably because of how expensive it has gotten to develop games.
Well, I think a lot of that is because of how many movies are coming out, or
And
how many movies were coming out, and then they ended up. I remember the last time we had tie-ins was somewhere around 2010. We had like Iron Man 2. I think there was a Thor game, a Captain America game, and then after that, Avengers and Iron Man 3 just got mobile games.
Yeah, and a lot of the movies these days, like the movie's not that great. Why would we make a game about it? Although there are some games where they're better than their movies, but that's a very small list.
Yeah, but I mean, even the games nowadays aren't that great.
Yeah. So, dude says the Lego games killed movie tie-in games. That's actually a good point, because there's Lego games.
There might be
for
something
freaking
to that.
everything.
Yeah, there might be something to that, but I think Lego games also have like a very different experience most of the time.
So, all right.
It might have like a similar target audience though.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some to some degree. I think Lego games
Yeah.
tend to skew a bit younger though.
So, all right. Let's see here. Jason, you want to give us your number 3?
My number 3, it's comes from last week as well. But my number 3 is gonna be Donkey Kong Country. It was hard for me to put it at 3 because again, it's when I think of Donkey Kong Country, we talked about it last week. Like I think of the first one of how the music was so great, how the characters were, everything like that. So, so this top 4 that I had to put together, besides Proper, easily be number 5 kind of thing, which is hard to say even too. It was really, really hard for me to put Donkey Kong Country number 3. Again, last week we talked about how great it was. Yeah, so back-to-back weeks, kind of bringing something back from the previous top 5 kind of thing like that. So, well, yeah, I think, again, out of all these games that I have on here, I had to go with games that I've played the most out of the first in the franchise that I think were the best. And as we keep going down the line, I'm like, yep, I definitely played that this year. How many times I play it? This was the most recent kind of thing like that. So that's almost how I had to separate what number 1 was going to be. But yeah, can't go wrong with the old original Donkey Kong Country.
Good pick. Yeah, as you know, I just recently played through DKC 1, 2, and 3 on my basically most of it was on my trip this summer. So they're still pretty fresh. And it's the first time I played through them in probably close to 20 years. And it's funny because since playing through it, I've been like Fuse is a place that I've been spending a lot of time on. Fuse is really great. I've been putting the link to it in most of my streams, so I'd say go check out Fuse because it's a great gaming app. But I see DKC 2 in a lot of people's like top games, and after having just replayed through all 3 of them, DKC 2 was my least favorite of the 3.
You can be wrong. It's okay.
So I don't. So my favorite of the original DKC games is number 3. I don't think it's going to be high enough to make it into my top 5 favorite number 3 games. So I'll say that right now that my favorite is the third one. But so for me, it's 3, 1, 2. But I had fun playing 3 and 1. The reason why 2 is my least favorite because it was the most frustrating after having just replayed it. But I do have a lot of good memories about 1 as well. But 3 is the one that, as I often say, that's the one that I owned. So that's one that I played the most. The other 2 I either rented or borrowed. But yeah, I remember when DKC 1 came out, and it's like, wow, that's an amazing looking game for Super Nintendo.
And the sad and scary thing about it too is like we have it being played without any volume, but I can hear every sound effect. I can hear the songs. I can hear everything just by watching what's being played right now.
It's like gifts you can hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, exactly. He didn't like playing as a girl, and he hates women. Confirmed. No, I played. Like I said, DKC 3 is my favorite, and it's Dixie and Kitty. So
no, Ariel, you're thinking of me.
I know she's just giving me a hard time. But yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, and Nerdport was giving me crap about it because I was on his channel last night because I often say I'm not a huge fan of the Mario franchise. I don't hate it. It's just I was not really big into Mario. Donkey Kong was my Mario back in the day, so it was my favorite platformer from back then. So I have a lot of love for Donkey Kong Country as well. So
maybe I have the hottest take on this one. I actually think the first one is the worst of the 3, but I still love the first one.
Okay.
I still love it, of course, but I think the 2 and 3 are both better.
Okay. What is it that you think is like the weakest part of the first one?
The platforming in the first one feels a lot more loose, I guess would be the way to describe it.
Okay.
It feels a bit more slippery and kind of weird. I don't know. And then I like the more collectathon-y stuff that they introduced in 2 and 3. I love that.
Yes, that's where I didn't care for it as much. So we have like the same we have the same take on like the mechanics of the game, but were you like the collectathon stuff? I didn't. That's why I like the first one. But we do both agree like on how the mechanics of the game of jumping and everything like that. You have to be knowing that it is very slick and very. You have to break the game with the somersaults and the cartwheel jumps and everything like that to do a lot of things.
Yeah, I like the collectathon-ness of it as well, but there was just some of those things in DKC 2 were just so frustrating. That was the reason why it was my least favorite, but I still like all 3 of them.
Yeah, finding all the DK coins without a guide in the second one that's a task.
Yeah, so I basically finished Donkey Kong Country 1 before I left on my trip, and then I played 2 and 3 while I was gone, and I had very little internet access while I was gone. So I basically did everything I could on my own. And then when I got back, then I went through and got all the secrets that I missed with the guide. So, and I missed a lot because there's a ton of them. But that was fun going through and collecting all the stuff that I missed. I was like, I thought I was pretty thorough, but I still missed a bunch.
Jason says lowest has the worst takes in gaming. You know what? I'll accept it. I don't care. But hey, bringing up this game is actually a good lead into my number 3 if you want to do that next.
Absolutely. Let's go for it.
All right. So
another probably be a lead into my number 3 when we get to it, since that puts me going last for number 3s or number 2s. No, we are at the number 3s.
You're number 3s.
Number 3s, yeah.
So all right.
I have another hot take that Rare of the 90s did everything that Nintendo could do, but better in literally every way possible. So when they went out to make their first 3D, was it their first 3D platformer? I don't know if it was their first, but
DK64.
No, they made Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh yes, that is true. I haven't actually played through it in its entirety yet, so it is on the backlog.
Yep, I love Banjo-Kazooie.
The little bit I played of it, I have really liked.
Yep, it's surprisingly like how hilarious this game is like shocking. That was like the main thing that stuck with me out with this game was just how funny like some of the dialogue and stuff is between all the characters and all the little things you learn about Gruntilda throughout the game, which ironically is different every time you play the game. There's like 3 different things you can learn from the fairy Gruntilda about the Gruntilda, the main antagonist. So it's different every single. The little factoids are different every single time, and you got to remember them too, because of that thing at the end. But what I like,
I will be playing it.
Yeah, just keep the things that Gruntilda tells you in mind. That's all I'll say. Yeah, the fairy. The fairy witch that's Gruntilda's sister that you find her throughout the lair.
Okay, it's like the good witch, like in Oz.
Kind of, yeah.
What was Glenda, the good witch?
Yeah. So we had a Mario 64 before this, and then this game feels like a refinement of Mario 64 in a way.
Okay, that's fair.
The game like looks better. The levels are themed. They have like a really distinct theme in each one. And I like all the different abilities you get throughout the game makes it feel more varied and just more fun throughout and less I wouldn't call Mario 64 repetitive, but you know what I mean when I say
there's a better sense of progression.
Yeah. More progression, and there's like a better variety of stuff in the game.
Yes. So yeah. I'm looking forward to, because I think I rented this back in the day. I don't think I ever beat it, but I do have it on Xbox Live Arcade, and I am also going to be doing it for Retro Achievements. And there are not a ton, but there's a decent amount of ROM hacks for Banjo-Kazooie as well, because I've been really, as I mentioned on my stream last night with Reportal, that I haven't really played a whole lot of ROM hacks, but I've been getting really into them, and I have a crap load. I was looking at my list today. I have like 150 ROM hacks for mostly Zelda and Metroid games, but I've got a few ROM hacks for Banjo-Kazooie that obviously I'm going to be playing Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie first, but then eventually I'll get into some of the ROM hacks. So, but yeah, if they're, I have played through Mario 64 in its entirety, and I would much rather play this than Mario 64. So I'm right there with you. Yeah, Rare could do no wrong in the 90s or in early 2000s. Basically before they were bought by Microsoft.
Yep. And it was all downhill from there.
I haven't played it and I have no intention of it, but I know it's done well, Sea of Thieves, but that's basically the only thing they have to show for their name since Microsoft bought them, which is sad.
Didn't they make that Xbox 360 game called Cameo?
Yes, they did. That was a 360 launch title. I didn't ever actually play that one.
I heard that one was actually all right, but I don't know. I haven't played it.
Yeah, I haven't either. But I do remember that being a launch title for 360. So, well, I guess because Perfect Dark Zero was also a 360 launch title, and I think it got a bad rap. It wasn't as good as the first one, but it was still decent. Yeah, it's kind of like you're talking about Treyarch and Raven. They did so much good stuff back then, and they got basically gobbled up by these giant corporations, and their talents have really gone to waste.
Well, in Treyarch and Raven's case, they were already part of Activision, I think.
Were they? Yeah, that would track because my favorite.
I know Treyarch was.
From Raven was what put Raven on the map for me was Jedi Outcast, and I'm pretty sure it has the Activision logo when you boot up the game. So,
yeah, so I don't really have much else to say about this one. It's a fairly simple game. You know, it's a 3D platformer collectathon. So if you like those games, you should definitely go back and play it.
What
if you haven't yet?
What is your take on Banjo-Tooie? Quickly,
I'll save that for another top 5.
All right, fair enough. So, all right. So let's see here. Yeah. Dude says Banjo has 5 games in the series. Says Banjo-Tooie, Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie. I know that there was a GBA game. I think it was a kart racer too. I don't know what the other 2 are then. Oh,
Banjo was in Diddy Kong Racing.
That's right. He was in Diddy Kong Racing.
He was in Diddy Kong Racing, and I think there was a game called Banjo Pilot.
That might be the one I was thinking of on GBA.
There's also Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts on
360.
Xbox 360.
Yeah, it was a 360 game.
Because I remember JonTron made a video about it. Very upset.
Yeah, a lot of people were not big fans of that because it was such a departure from the core of the, what the banjo games were known for. So then we're missing one. I'm not sure what the 5th one is, but Forkin Around is here. What's up, Forkin? Good to see you. I had someone in my chat the other day whose name was like Fork P or something. I kept thinking it was Forkin Around. I'm like, nope, different person, but good to see you, Forkin Around. It's been a little while. Hope you're doing well. So dude says the only company that did well after Microsoft buyout was Bungie, but they did rot slowly. Yep, for sure. Kazooie 2. Oh, Grunty's Revenge. That's right. I don't remember what that was, but I remember hearing about Grunty's Revenge.
If that's the Game Boy Advance one, it's kind of like a top-down.
It is a GBA game as well. It's a
one of those
2.5D platforming collectathon.
Yeah.
Banjo Pilot is also on GBA, and that's the one I was thinking of. It's a kart racer.
Yeah. So the Grunty's Revenge actually does feel kind of like a 3D platformer, but it's technically, I think it's technically still in 2D, like the graphics are 2-dimensional, but it has like a
I'm looking at a screenshot. It looks
thing.
like it's got like an isometric, like 3/4 perspective.
Yeah, I'd have to look at it again. I have played that. Okay, funny story about that game. I did play it. I got up to like the last world, and I was playing it on an emulator. And then I either exited the game or something crashed, and I lost my entire save because I didn't save the game the entire time.
Oh, that sucks.
The reason I didn't think to save was because the game was really short. I was like, oh, I'm just going to beat this in one sitting, and then that happened.
Oh, bummer.
So I lost all my progress.
I do plan to play through Grunty's Revenge at some point. I don't think I'll do Pilot, but I will do Grunty's Revenge.
Yeah, from what I remember, it's not bad. It's kind of weird. You have to get used to like the 3D aspect on the tiny resolution Game Boy Advance, but it's not bad.
All right. Yeah, Nuts and Bolts. I forgot about that one at first. And I was like, oh yeah, Nuts and Bolts, because that's the one that everyone hated.
Yeah. So I've heard like different opinions on Nuts and Bolts. Like, 'cause I haven't played it, but I've heard some people say that it's actually not a bad game. It's just a bad banjo game.
That's kind of what I guessed. Just, it got so much vitriol because it's so different. And it's like, this isn't what we wanted. But if you take it for what it is, it's not a bad game, from what I hear.
But yeah, I haven't played it.
Yeah, me neither. I think
I've actually never owned a 360, so I missed out on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff on 360. I'm pretty sure I played a Nuts and Bolts demo on an Xbox Magazine demo disc, because I do know that I played Nuts and Bolts for a few minutes, but I never played it in its entirety. So I'm pretty sure it was on a demo disc. So, all right. Well, that brings it to me for my number 3. And actually, yours was a little bit more of a departure. Mine would have flowed a little bit better at following Jason, because mine is also a platformer from the Super Nintendo, but more of an action platformer. And so it is a platform, but I don't really consider it a platform. It's more of a run and gun game. And that is Mega Man X. It's my favorite sub-series of Mega Man games. And I played this game. This is kind of like one of my comfort cozy games. It's like, if I don't know what to play, it's like, I'll just boot up Mega Man and do a quick run through of it. It's probably not the one I've beaten the most, but it has basically all the Mega Man X games have great music, but this one easily has the best. And it was like, this was my introduction to Mega Man, because it did exist earlier than this. Obviously, there's the classic Mega Man games, which are 1 through 6 were NES games, but I didn't play those until the first time I played through the classic Mega Man games was the Mega Man Legacy Collection on Xbox One. That was my first time playing through the original ones. But if you did grow up, you know, maybe slightly older than me, because I was kind of I grew up with the Super Nintendo. So someone older than me probably would have grown up on the NES. And a lot of people have huge love for the classic Mega Man games. That's not me. I am currently playing through them very slowly. I just finished going through Mega Man 2 again recently. I haven't started Mega Man 3. But it was, talk about a glow up for Mega Man, because he's this happy little like go lucky blue sprite, all pixelated in the NES games, and then he gets this kind of like edgy teen I'm not going to do what you tell me vibe, and made him cool. And they gave, you know, rock and metal guitar vibes in the music. And you actually get, like, the gameplay, in my opinion, is so much better because you're more mobile. They introduced dash and wall jump. And in addition to getting these abilities, you know, that's core element of Mega Man games, is when you beat these bosses, you get their abilities. But not only that, but you upgrade your armor and you get new abilities for your armor as well. And one of the huge game changers, I don't know if any of the classic ones had it, because obviously Mega Man's 1 through 6 came out before Mega Man X, but they continued the Mega Man Classic series after Mega Man X came out, because Mega Man 7 was on Super Nintendo, and Mega Man 7 came out after Mega Man X did. And then Mega Man 8 was a PlayStation 1 game, so that was another generation after that. And then 9 and 10 went back to the classic art style that looked like NES games, but I played them on No, I did not play them on Xbox Live Arcade. Like I said, I played them on the Xbox, the Mega Man Legacy Collection. But I think that in addition to Xbox Live Arcade, the only other place they were released was on the WiiWare, on the Wii. But anyways, they upgraded his look majorly and made him cool. And that's where I was going with that, is in Mega Man 1, at least, there's no, like, you don't upgrade your health, because in Mega Man X, they added like collectibles that you can upgrade your health bar, so you get more health throughout the game. And they also added sub tanks, so once your health is full, if you collect health, it goes into your sub tank, which you can then use whenever you want to refill your energy. There were energy tanks. I know there were energy tanks in Mega Man 2, because I just recently replayed it, but they work a little bit differently. You just collect them, and then it's like a consumable, and then it's gone. The sub tanks in Mega Man X, you keep them, and you can keep refilling them. So in my opinion, it made the game, all these additions and upgrades just made it play so much better than the classic Mega Mans. But you still have the same, like, rock, paper, scissors, where, you know, you beat a boss and then his weapon is strong against another boss, and you got to figure out which one is weak against it if you want to make it, you know, the easiest on yourself. And then after you beat originally it was 8 Robot Masters, now they're Mavericks. You beat the 8 Mavericks, and then you basically you go through the 3 or 4 levels of Sigma's Fortress. And this is my favorite Capcom franchise, and so the I don't know if long running Easter egg, but most people know in Mega Man, once you get everything, there's a secret where you can unlock the Hadouken, which will kill any boss in one hit, but you can only do it when you have full health. And then in Mega Man X2, instead of the Hadouken, they added the Shoryuken, so it's the fire uppercut, the dragon punch. They didn't have one of those in Mega Man X3, but they did have something similar. But yeah, the gameplay was just such a drastic improvement on the classic formula. They added, a more collective, I wouldn't call it a collectathon, but there is a lot more stuff to collect and power your character up. And it just has one of the greatest video game soundtracks of all time. I'm pretty sure I put this on my top 10 video game soundtracks when we did soundtracks way back on episode 6 of top 5.
Nice.
Yes, Mega Man X was my number 2 for soundtracks in video games. And I listened to, I shout out to Lois because he's introduced me to a lot of video game covers. Especially he did it. If you haven't, I've shouted it out a couple times, but if you haven't, Lois did like a 2-hour video like a couple months ago on his favorite video game covers. I'll drop the link in the stream description afterwards, but it's a great video. Go check it out. But there is just so many amazing covers out there of songs from this game. There's this one cover. Oh, go ahead.
It's an endless rabbit hole. Like I probably went over like 1,500 of them at this point.
Holy crap! For just Mega Man X?
No, just video game covers in general.
Just covers in general. Okay.
Yeah, there's a ton of good. Oh man, see, I haven't even played Mega Man, but I had one of the Mega Man covers in the honorable mentions just because the song is so damn good that I had to. I broke my own rule of only games I played, and I had to put it in there.
Nice.
But yeah, go watch that video if you like video game music. I highly recommend it. I spent way too much time working on that, and
if you want,
nobody knows about it.
If you want to go find that video and like DM it to me, I'll drop it in chat here, and then I'll put it in the stream description afterwards as well. But
right,
yeah, there's this one cover by the channel Toxic Eternity. Or no, that's my other favorite one. But Family Jewels did a cover like 15 years ago, and it's a medley of a bunch of different songs from this, and it is one of the greatest covers ever. I've listened to it hundreds of times. I listen to it probably like at least 10 times a week. It is phenomenal. The music in this game is just so god tier, and I love this game so much. So this is one of those games where I had to break my rule. Self-imposed rule for not putting multiple games in a franchise for 1, 2, and 3, because there's other games in Mega Man X that will be in my later picks as well. But because this one is just also so damn good, I had to put it in here as well. Kind of like Lois had to put this music in his list, even though he hasn't played it. I love this game so much that I had to put it in my list. So I see you. Perfect. There it is. So I am dropping that in the chat right now. So if you haven't, go give Lois. I'm dropping the link to Lois's cover list of favorite video game covers. I don't remember if there was anything other than that honorable mention for Mega Man in that video, but it's still a great video. So go give it a listen. After
it's probably just that one. Just that one. It's called a song called Esperanto. That song stuck out to me. Like even the original version of that song stuck out to me just because of the way it is.
So, but yeah, go give that a listen afterwards because that's a great video that he put together. So, Jason in chat says, I will say Mega Man changed the idea of gaming as you can go and order any way you want. Yes, that's another thing, because typically platformers up until Mega Man came around were all, left to right, level 1 to level 2, and this is do it in any order you want. And that was kind of a game changer. So absolutely. Oh, T-Man's here. What's up, T-Man? I haven't seen you in a long time. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, nice. Mega Man X. Oh, yeah. I helped share good Mega Man covers. So, Jason. Also,
yeah, I had to tell T-Man that you were talking about Mega Man, so I brought him.
I was a huge fan of Mega Man X.
Oh, yeah. Well, Mega Man in general.
Mega Man in general. Yeah. I love Mega Man. So, yeah, the franchise in general, Mega Man X is my favorite sub-franchise of Mega Man. So, Jason also says, Neo, I can always pick you up with covers. Oh, probably hook you up with covers. So I can tell this now. I gave Chow many covers. Absolutely.
Yeah, he did. Jason recommended a lot of them.
I have a channel in my Discord for music, and basically the only person ever posts in there is Lois, and he always gives me good covers to go listen to. So I think that I've got the link to my. If you feel like joining my Discord, I usually put the link to it in all of my stream description. So if you want to join, or if you ever just want to DM me on Discord as well without joining, that's fine. If you ever send them my way, and I'll give them a listen. So I'm always
One more
always
thing
up
I
for
want to
listening
mention.
good covers. Go for it.
If you guys do check out the covers video, or anyone watching in the future, I also have playlists that link every single cover that we've gone over, that I went over on stream, and also just a playlist of all the honorable mentions that were both featured in the video and just also other honorable mentions as well. And there's like 250 of them. So,
yeah, I remember I went and looked at that playlist because you sent me the playlist. I'm like, holy crap, that's a lot
Yeah.
in there.
like I said, it's an endless rabbit hole. You can do that for days and probably months, just checking out video game covers.
Yeah. So, yeah, Mega Man X. I freaking love this game so much. So, and this is kind of like one of my cozy games. I will play this repeatedly on end. So. And it's not the only one in the Mega Man X franchise I feel that way about.
Yeah. So we'll put a timestamp here for number 2. And my number 2 also is Mega Man X. So we'll just continue
perfectly. So
for all the same reasons that have been announced so far. That's why I was kind of smiling the whole time. It's like, yeah, everything about this game, there's not much wrong at all about this game. It's the perfect introduction to the Mega Man franchise as we know. Plus, we're going to add a little few things because we have this new hardware, and we're just going to make this game just better. It is the best way I could say it.
Would you guys say this is a good first Mega Man to play in general if you've never played one before?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll
keep that in mind if I ever decide to try one.
Because the classic Mega Mans are notoriously difficult. I think the Mega Man X games are far more approachable. They're much easier.
Yeah, so the original Mega Man games are a little bit slower, and like you need to plan a lot of the time. This one right here, like you have more abilities to do stuff, so it's more custom to like newer games. So like, oh cool, you have this jump, you have this. So like, there's more to this in an action-based style than it is kind of like, okay, Mega Man can only jump this, far. You can only do this. You need to get some of these abilities to do this kind of stuff. Where this is really, really good way to start playing.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't recommend jumping in with the original classic Mega Man on NES, but I have been playing. It's basically a game I've been playing for months now because there's so much to do in it. But if you wanted to go back and play classic Mega Man, the best way to play the original Mega Man is Mega Man Powered Up on PSP. It is really good, and it's way more approachable than the original Mega Man. I went on a rant about the original Mega Man just recently. Nightmare, your audio is... All right. I'm going to mute him while he's gone.
Yeah.
I don't think he remembered that he has audio on his away screen. But yeah, if you wanted to go back and play classic, I would say the best way to play the original Mega Man is Powered Up. Because you can play the original unaltered version of Mega Man 1 on Powered Up, but you can choose between old style, which is basically unaltered classic NES Mega Man 1, or new style, and it gives it a facelift. It looks really good, and there's easy, normal, and hard for every level, and you can also unlock all of the Robot Masters as playable characters. So I'm playing it for retro achievements, and so there's an achievement for beating the game on each difficulty with all like 15 characters in the game. So there's a lot to do. So it's been something I've been playing through very slowly. I'll play a little bit here and there. But that is the best way to play the original one. But of all the Mega Man games to start out with across all the sub franchises, I would say Mega Man X is the best place to start. So,
all right.
But yeah, that could not have gone any more perfectly. That was my number 3, and I ended number 3s, and it was your number 2, so I led perfectly. So, yeah. Yeah, and shout out to Dude for getting me into Retro Achievements. This was the very first game I ever played on Retro Achievements, Mega Man X.
Good one.
So I still have to go back and get. I don't have all the achievements because some of them are really difficult, but I still have some. Oh, I spent a lot of time getting the achievement for beating. There's an achievement for beating each boss without taking damage, and most of them are fairly easy after you get their attack patterns down, as long as you're using their weakness, because they take tons of damage, and a lot of times it staggers them, so you can kind of stun lock them. Except for Launch Octopus, that guy is really retardedly difficult to beat without taking damage because his weakness is basically useless against him, and he's throwing so many attacks at you. It took me probably like 100 tries to beat him without taking damage, but I finally did it on Mega Man X. But I still have to do that achievement on other versions of Mega Man X, like the X collection, and there's a couple other versions that I haven't done it yet, so that's going to be kind of a pain. But that's another really cool thing about it is that was new to the franchise and just gaming in general, is depending on what order you did the levels in, you could alter how the levels play. Because as you're seeing right now, this is Flame Mammoth stage, but everything is frozen because you've already beaten Chill Penguin. If you haven't beaten Chill Penguin, that level is still all lava. And in order to get all the upgrades, you have to beat Chill Penguin to turn the lava into ice, because you can't go down there and get one of the upgrades because you'll just die. So that's another really cool thing about the game is the levels change based on the order that you play them in.
So is there like, does that mean there's like an optimal level order to play them in? Or is it like, are there like benefits for going from one stage to another?
There are, but Mega Man X is, like I say, Mega Man X2 and X3, it's far more beneficial to follow a set route. Every time I play Mega Man X, I kind of do it in a slightly different order, but always start with Chill Penguin stage, because that gets you the dash boots, and that makes the rest of the game far easier. And that's why there's a bunch of achievements for beating the game with getting those last, because it makes the game more difficult. But
yeah, I could see that little dash that he's doing would make avoiding damage way easier.
Yeah, and it allows you to jump farther as well. So always go Chill Penguin first, unless you're going for achievements that require you to not get that first.
Also, Chill Penguin's a really good boss to face like right away early, because it teaches you, it kind of teaches you like the wall jump, and it teaches you a certain kind of like ways to do it, and it's really good with the basic, X Buster kind of thing. So I always go Chill Penguin, and then I always go Chameleon second. So
okay,
but yeah, there's always different.
Sting Chameleon second.
Yeah,
because because Chill Penguin's weapon is strong against Spark Mandrill,
right?
But he can be a bit difficult, and there are some other things in that level that you'll need other powers for in order to get. So some people do Spark Mandrills later, and may do like Storm Eagle next, because you can get a bunch of items in his level without any other required weapons. So there's a bunch of different ways you can do it, but always the first place to start is Chill Penguin.
Yep.
So I had to mute you while you were gone, Nightmare, because your away music was kind of loud. Uh-oh.
What?
Did we lose him?
The Joker got him again.
Yeah,
He came back, and then he
Realized that back.
That's all right. I'm like, Nightmare, your music. I'm like, oh wait, as host, I have the ability to mute you, so I muted you while you were away. So no worries. But yeah, Mega Man X, I love this game so much, and Jason does too. He put it higher on his list than I did on mine. T-Man says, yeah, probably my favorite. Mega Man has the best video game soundtrack throughout the entire franchise. I'm assuming you meant Mega Man X, because you didn't say X. Because most people say of the classic ones, Mega Man 2 has the best soundtrack. But I'm assuming you're saying Mega Man X has the best soundtrack, since we are talking about the Mega Man X games. So, and Jason says, I do think the original game sucked mainly for enemies respawning if you leave the spawn point off screen. Mega Man X, the Mega Man X games do that as well, where if you go out of the range, the enemies will respawn, but it's not as bad as the classic ones. It's ridiculous on the classic ones. It's like you don't even have to be off screen. If you're on the edge of the screen, they're still respawn. So yeah, that gets really annoying in the classic ones. I think Mega Man X is one of the best speedrunning games for the sake of getting power-ups in certain orders and using them in bosses. That is a huge thing in speedrunning communities, is the Mega Man X games, in speedrunning them and getting, obviously there's any percent just beating the game, but then there's speedruns for who can get, all of the items in the fastest time, and then you're really trying to optimize your route and try to minimize backtracking. Because that is one of the big complaints with Mega Man X3 is there's a lot of backtracking. So there's no real optimized route because so many of the things you have to beat late game, the best order to beat the bosses in, some of those weapons are required to get a lot of stuff that are in levels that you would have already gone through. So you can optimize Mega Man X a lot better than you can X2 or X3. So, and T-Man agrees Chill Penguin is a good starting stage. And yeah, it's a great starting boss as well for getting into the franchise. Classic X-Zero, Battle Network, ZX, Star Force, and Legends. I'm assuming you're saying that what you mean by that is the Mega Man X soundtrack is the best out of all of those, which I would agree. So, and
I think he's saying that Mega Man as a series has the best music overall.
Mega Man, the entire series has great. That would make a lot of sense because it does have just great music throughout the entire franchise.
Yeah.
So thank you for
heard a lot of
clarifying
people
that.
say that.
And while we're on the topic of Mega Man, another short rant, because I will take every opportunity I can to get on my soapbox about this. We just got, because I have all of the Mega Man collections on Xbox because that is my platform of choice. And we just got announced literally like within the last few days that the Star Force games are getting a collection and it's coming to Xbox, which is cool. I never actually played the Star Force games, but they're basically, from what I've seen, they're exactly like Battle Network, just with a over the shoulder perspective rather than a like side view. But I'm still angry that Battle Network Collection is on everything except Xbox. Why is Battle Network Collection on everything but Xbox, but all the other collections are on Xbox? That is pissing me off, and I will rant about that every chance I get. Come on, Capcom, fix it. Bring Battle Network Collection to Xbox. Why is it not there? So,
apparently Xbox gamers don't like RPGs or something. I don't know.
So, and yeah, he's agreeing. Thanks for the clarification. Yeah, the OSTs are the best. So I think you could do challenge runs like Naked X runs through Naked X runs through X6. Not naked, but I think he just means with no upgrades. Well, it's not very fun. No, not worse than X7. That game is terrible, but there are painful moments. There's also Buster only runs. And basically all the Mega Man games, both Classic and X, have achievements for beating each level using only the Busters, which I've got most of them for all the ones that I played for retro achievements so far. So, and he said, glad Star Force is getting its collection. Yeah, I'll finally get a chance to play Star Force now that it's getting a collection. I probably won't get it on launch, but I will get it eventually because that is one that I do want to own all the collections for. So,
wait, are the Mega Man Star Force, are these action RPGs?
Yeah. So they play, from what I've seen, because I haven't played them, but they look like they play exactly like Battle Network, but they are just an over-the-shoulder perspective rather than a side perspective, and it's all the combat is in real time. The only thing is that, at least in Battle Network, a bar fills up, and once it hits the top, you can hit, Battle Network games were all on Game Boy Advance, so you hit one of the shoulder buttons, and it pauses combat, and you can then select your next set of chips, and then it goes back into real-time combat, and one button is for your Buster, and then your other button is to activate whatever chip is lined up next, and each chip has a different effect. So the combat is all done in real time, but you pause the combat in order to pick every like 10 seconds or so, you can pause it and pick the next few attacks that you want to use, but you choose when to use them in real time because a lot of them do require precise timing to hit the enemy, that because some of them may have a certain attack pattern, so you need to make sure you hit them at a certain time or when they're vulnerable, because sometimes they may be having vulnerability. So they are real-time the combat, but they are, it's kind of like, I wouldn't say kind of like Pokemon, but the like the story and stuff, you're typically, like I said, Battle Network games, I don't know if this is the same in Star Force, but you have like a Pokemon style gameplay where you control a little character and you're walking around a world, and then you go into combat and you basically connect to the internet, and then you play as Mega Man in the internet, and you're fighting like viruses and stuff on the internet. So that's kind of how the gameplay goes. So most of the story is you're controlling, this kid out in the world, but all the combat is all done in the internet with they're called navies. Everyone has like their own personal like character that basically like their personalized AI, and each one is, like Mega Man, although he's called Mega Man EXE in the Mega Man Battle Network games, is Lan is the character you play as, and Mega Man is his Navi, and all your friends, they each have their own Navis, like Gutsman and all the other classic characters from the Mega Man franchise. So if you like RPGs and you don't like turn-based combat, you may very well like the Mega Man Battle Network games, and assuming, like I said, the Star Force games are similar, you'll probably like those as well. Then there is the actual turn-based RPG, which is Mega Man X Command Mission, which I have not actually played that because that is turn-based, and I'm not huge on turn-based, but I will probably play it at some point just because I'm such a big fan of the Mega Man franchise. So, yeah, dude says, I did the Naked X run in the first game. I have not done that yet, but I will do it at some point. I like the Challenger Buster only run, says T-Man. Jason says, Neo, I hope you don't mind me explaining my top 5 over here. Absolutely not. Go for it. Yeah, the battle chips. Yep, that was Battle Network, and I'm assuming those are in Star Force as well. And if you have certain battle chips, you can make use of Program Advance. Yeah, so if you have certain battle chips and you line them up in the correct order, they'll basically have a synergy called a Program Advance, and they'll be way more powerful, the three of them combined, than all 3 of them individually. Those were a lot of fun. I remember one of my favorite ones in Battle Network 3 was this one where it basically pauses time, and like it was either like Proto Man. Yeah, I think it was Proto Man. Or no, it was someone with a sword. Maybe was Zero in it? Because I don't remember if Zero was in the Battle Network collections, because it's basically based on the classic Mega Man characters. So I don't think Zero was in it, but I remember Proto Man was in it. And he just like appears all over the screen and like slashes everything and basically kills everything like instantly. It was awesome. So Mega Man Battle Network has Navi versions of all the classic series, Robot Masters, and a few from Mega Man X. Okay, I don't remember many from Mega Man X, but I do remember a lot of the classic ones. So the naked run in X1 is impossible since you still get dash boots. Yeah, you literally cannot avoid the dash boots because you can't go around them. All the other upgrades in Mega Man X and X2 and X3, you have to go out of your way to get, but in X1, the dash boots, you literally cannot get past the capsule, the upgrade capsule. So
can't you just get the dash boots and then not use them?
You could, but
or are there parts that require it?
No, I'm pretty sure you could.
You can use the game without them. It's hard not to, but you can, because it's like when you get them, it's right there, and there'll be a couple fights where you'll be like, oh, there's a dash, but yeah, no, you don't have to use them.
Well, there you go.
But when they say naked runs, it's like basically for avoiding all upgrades that are possible. Just in Mega Man X, it's not possible to avoid the dash upgrades. There is a ROM hack that I know that makes it where you can go around it, but I haven't played that one. So
that reminds me of when I wanted to do a 3-heart run of Link's Awakening DX, but you literally cannot open the door without grabbing the heart container in that one.
Yes, because I just played both Link's Awakening and Link's Awakening DX just recently.
Yeah. And they changed that in the Switch remake though, but we all know how I feel about that one.
We do know how you feel about that one. But yeah, because I know 3-heart runs are popular for Zelda games. And I was thinking about that as I was playing through Link's Awakening. And I was like, oh, you literally cannot do it in this one because it won't let you out of the dungeon until you pick up the heart container.
Yeah, you'd have to like hack the game or mod it or something.
So, and yeah, as T-Man also mentions that at the end of X, if you don't get the arm upgrades, Zero automatically gives you his arm cannon. So there are unavoidable upgrades, but X2 and X3, you can avoid all the upgrades if you want to. So yeah, basically, yeah, the naked runs in X Mega Man games are basically identical to 3-heart runs in Zelda. So all right, we'll go ahead and move on. We've talked about Mega Man for long enough.
There is one more piece of Mega Man news that came out recently. He's going to be in Sonic Racing Cross Worlds.
Oh, I did see that yesterday. The classic Mega Man. I don't know why, since that's Sega and not Capcom, but cool.
Better question is why not?
Yeah.
And now that I think about it, like if you like Eggman's robots and the robots from Mega Man, they do kind of have a similar design style. Some of them do. So I could see those two series actually crossing over really well.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. Kind of giving it a little bit of thought because it's all basically the bad guys are all robots in both of them. So,
Hmm.
um, but yeah, a dude also says you cannot do a 3 heart run in A Link to the Past as well, which I didn't know because I've only played it
Oh.
once, many years ago. But I will be playing through it again soon, and I think dude also wrote the achievement set for that one as well on Retro Achievements, so he would definitely know. So, but all right, unless anyone else has Mega Man on their list or at number 2, we'll probably move off of Mega Man for now. So, Lois, why don't you give us your number 2?
Ooh, my number 2. All right, my number 2 is going to be something a bit different. This is a game that came out on PS2, and it's the first in its series, and I think it's still my favorite, or either my favorite or second favorite. And there's now 8 mainline ones, and that is Disgaea: Hour of Darkness.
This I don't even know how to spell that, so don't worry about it. I'll figure it out.
All right.
Disgaea.
Gaea. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. I've heard of this one, but Lois is always bringing in these JRPGs that I've heard names of, but I know nothing about.
Yep. So this is basically a strategy RPG for insane people. What you can do in this game, it's like the ultimate grinding game. You can grind your characters up to level 9,999.
Wow.
Then you can reincarnate them and do it all over again.
So
And they become stronger each time you do that. But that's like post game stuff. If you go in and just play the story, you're going to be like level 90 by the end.
Okay, but you can go up to 10 times that.
Yeah. And there's a whole bunch of like modifiers and stuff that you can set so that you get more experience. So it's actually not as long as it sounds. But if you want to beat like the ultra super boss at the very end of the post game, you're going to have to do that like 3 or 4 times to get a character that can even damage him.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's a ridiculous game. And basically the whole premise of this series is you play as a group of demons in the Netherworld. And basically their entire culture is like a giant counterculture to our own. So like doing bad or evil deeds is considered good. And then doing good deeds makes you bad or a delinquent. So it's kind of silly in that way.
It basically forces you to play as a bad person.
So you play as these demons, and the story is not about them doing bad things. It's about like learning things like how demons can feel love as well. Because like the demon and human world interact, and they also interact with Celestia, the world of angels. And they kind of like intermingle, and like this story like just goes into really wild directions sometimes. And it's also like, it's not very serious. Like it's probably one of the funniest games I've ever played. I would put it up there with like Banjo-Kazooie as some of the funniest games ever made. The humor is like, it's really something else. And all the characters are ridiculous. And
okay, well,
I love it to death.
Okay, I was about to ask a question, but I was able to piece together the answer to it by looking at the video that's playing. I was going to say, what was this on? But given that there was circle, X, and square and triangle, I'm assuming this was a PlayStation game.
Yeah, PlayStation 2 was the first one.
PS2, okay.
Yep.
And what was the, because I'm looking at a list of them, and they all have all these like subtitles. This was Hour of Darkness. Is that the first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and the first one has a couple re-releases. There's Disgaea Afternoon of Darkness, which I think is the DS port. And then there's a PSP one as well. I forget what the subtitle for that one is. But yeah, this game has been re-released like 4 times. And it's still easily the best in the series in terms of story. I don't think they're ever going to top this one in that regard, because the more recent ones, the recent one was Disgaea 7, and that has probably the worst story in the entire series, and possibly one of the worst stories I've ever seen in a video game.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And Nerd Portal and I were talking about a pretty bad story on his channel last night. If anyone's ever played the game Time Spinner, decent gameplay.
Oh, that's the Metroidvania, right?
Yeah.
I did not know that about that.
Just skip the dialogue. The game will be much better if you skip all the dialogue. But okay, yeah. So I'm looking at it on How Long to Beat, and it says for just like a main story completion, 46 hours. That's not too bad. Completion is 212 hours, and it's basically all the games in this franchise are like main story is like 40 hours, and then like the completions are all like 200 hours plus. Some of them are over 300 hours.
Yeah, 200 hours for the first game. That's probably lowball.
That's lowballing it.
Because especially if you're not like using a guide to meticulously like level up your characters the right way, it's going to take you way longer than that.
Yeah, I would assume so.
So, Lowest, is this one of those games that could be described as a spreadsheet game?
Maybe.
Interesting.
Maybe. I don't know.
Disgaea Hour of Darkness does not have a retro achievement set. There's 120 people who are requested one. Interesting. There are other games in the franchise that have achievement sets, but not that one. Disgaea 2 has. Oh, that's on PSP.
I think this is a spreadsheet game for some people, but for me, I've 100%ed the remake of the first one that came out on Switch. I definitely did not play it like that. Because basically all you have to do, if you know what you're doing, which I do because I've played so many of them, then you don't really need to like get super anal about it like that. You just keep going and going until you're there. But it will still take a long time. I think I probably around 200 hours, like the thing said in the first remake. Maybe a bit less. I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay. All right.
There's quite a few quality of life improvements in the remake too. Like you see how slow this thing is moving right now. There's a speed function that can make it way faster.
Oh, that is all. That's one of my biggest issues with turn-based combat games is like,
yeah,
you click a menu item and then you're just sitting there for like 20 minutes. You go make a coffee, do your taxes, and it's still only the next guy's turn.
Yeah. Yep. Whenever there's a animation speed option, I always crank that to max. That definitely always helps me enjoy. Speaking of, Lois, I know you played this, and I just recently replayed it. Monster Sanctuary, I just played it again, and I maxed out the animation speed, and it's a Metroidvania monster battling turn-based RPG that I had one of those. I think I mentioned that on Top 5 JRPGs. Because it's not technically a JRPG, but it plays like one, so that made it into my list because I haven't played very many. But I did like that game as well, and having the ability to crank up the animation speed definitely increased my enjoyment of it.
Yeah, I think the speed up was introduced in maybe the third game, if I remember correctly, because that was the first one on PS3. I don't know if their PS2 game would be able to handle a super speed mode, but
yeah,
I think that started in the PS3.
As Dude mentioned, there are 4 games in the franchise that have retro achievements, and 3 of them are PSP games, and one's a DS.
Okay,
so
they don't have it for the PS2 one yet.
Yeah, they just don't have retro achievement sets. So there are people who are wanting them, though.
Yeah, so there's a few more reasons why I picked this as the best first game in a franchise. The series hasn't evolved all that much since this game. Like they play very much similar to each other, each of the sequels. So this game set the standard, and they've just been doing the same thing for most of the games with little improvements here or there, like some quality of life stuff, and they just keep improving upon this exact same formula that was in the first game. And it's still fun. It still remains fun, even though I hate the story of the latest one. That game is still fun. I just love this series, and this game is responsible for that.
Right,
there's a lot of
one good gameplay, bad story.
Yeah, there's a lot of character customization you can do. So there's two main characters here. This little brawler guy that he's controlling now, that's one of the custom characters. So there's a bunch of different character classes you can pick from and create customs out of them. So that's another thing that makes like there's tons of replay value. You can play with completely different units the second time you play the game if you want.
Okay. How many different like classes are there?
Usually around the ballpark of 20.
Okay.
There's like half of them are monsters and half of them are humans that can equip any weapon. And then monsters have like their own class of weapon that just powers them up, basically.
All right. So, dude saying, sounds like you shouldn't play these games back to back, and that otherwise you'd quickly get burnt out.
You could definitely get burnt out doing that.
He knows all about that with some of the games he plays back to back. But we'll be talking about that on Achievement Chasers next week.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, yeah, this is I've heard the name of this franchise, but like most other JRPGs, I knew nothing about it. So now I just learned a little something about it.
Yeah, and I didn't mention that it's a strategy RPG, so it plays more like a Fire Emblem, Shining Force, or Final Fantasy Tactics, something like that. It's not like a regular turn-based game. It's a strategy RPG, so there's a lot of when you can like manipulate the playing field that you're on like crazy in this game. That's another thing that's really appealing about it.
Okay. All right. All right. Well then, let's go to Nightmare for his number 2, and I'll finish off our number 2s.
All right, so this is one that's I'm guessing is not on anybody's list, but it absolutely deserves to be on lists. So
Ooh,
the original Deus Ex.
Speaking of that, and we just got rated by Paul Hadouken over on Twitch. Thank you, Paul. You rock, dude. This game just got announced a remaster, I believe.
Unfortunately, yes, and it looks terrible.
Okay, I haven't seen anything. All I saw was a static image that said Deus Ex Remaster. So
yeah,
it doesn't look good.
I saw the footage. It looks horrible, and I am sure that it's going to be censored to all heck.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, especially because with this game being what it is, and here's some gameplay.
Yeah, one of my friends in high school burned me a copy because he could not shut up about this game. And I don't even know if I ever even finished the first level, but I was impressed by how good it looked for back in the day.
Yeah, it is kind of a tough game to get into just because the gameplay can be, it is a heavily stealth game, so the gameplay can get a little bit tedious at times. But being a PC game, there's a lot you can do with it. But yeah, so it is an action stealth game where I mean, it was kind of revolutionary at the time too, because it was just such an expansive and interesting game.
You could play it
with
so many
this
different
very
ways.
interesting. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can play it in so many different ways. The plot is also very, very in depth. And this is this being the first game of the series, it is absolutely the best game of the series, even though it's the oldest. So the sequel is okay. The story's fine.
I played the demo of Invisible War. I remember that.
Yeah, it's not great, but it's not terrible.
It's not great. I liked Human Revolution. I did 100% that one. I haven't played Mankind
So yeah,
Divided
the prequels, and I've played all 4. The prequels, Human Revolution and Mankind Divided, they're fine, but they don't come close to the original. They just don't.
I'll have to play through this in its entirety at some point.
Yeah,
I need to play this too.
Yeah, it is absolutely worth playing, and it is, I would argue, one of the best games of all time.
Ooh, wow,
and not just because of, not just because of the gameplay itself, but because this is the first level we're looking at, and right as you get it toward the end of the first level, it just starts dropping red pills at you
on purpose to get rid of the population growth.
So you're just talking to a guy, and he's just spewing, spitting out.
Don't believe me? It's all in the numbers. For 100 years, there's been a conspiracy of plutocrats against ordinary people.
You have a single fact to back that up?
Number 1.
So he's just spitting out red pills.
Corporations paid 50% of federal taxes.
Right at the beginning of the game.
Now they pay about 5%.
And this
Number
game
2,
basically predicted
in
everything.
1900, 90% of Americans were self-employed. Now it's about 2%.
So,
It's
You don't
called
hate big
consolidation.
corporations enough.
Strengthen governments and corporations.
Yeah, Canadians
weaken
saying the story was
individuals.
way ahead of its time.
With taxes, this
Oh,
can be
absolutely.
done imperceptibly over time.
So, yeah, you're seeing all these red pills just being thrown at you, and this game predicted so much.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it also sparked a ton of memes. But it's just such a great game, so influential. It's a shame that the sequels and so on were not very good. But then again, you can't really go into a whole lot of places with sequels with this game because of the way it ends.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't
yeah,
even
it
know
is
for a
a-
long time that the Adam Jensen games were prequels.
Yeah, they're prequels because J.C. Denton, he's the original main character.
Is he the main character in 1 and Invisible War?
No. So Invisible War, J.C. Denton is a second, like a side character. Well, he's very important to the plot, but you play as his clone brother, Alex Denton.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a very interesting game, and even if you're not like hugely into stealth games,
Oh, I like
in
stealth.
some ways, I think this is actually a little bit easier than like a Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, if I
but,
get into it, I'm sure I'll like it.
Yeah, the one thing to keep in mind though is that the game starts off kind of slow. So yeah, you kind of got to get through that first level, and then once you're through the first level, it becomes so much more
The
interesting.
first level starts on Statue of Liberty Island, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so Angry Canadian says, yeah, especially if you keep in mind the events that occurred in the real world in the last 20 years. He says, Neo, I too have a
Yep.
friend that won't shut up about this game and wants me to stream it. This was way
Yeah.
back in high school when the game was new. I haven't seen him since,
Yeah.
but I remember he was like ranting and raving about this game. But
Yeah,
I
it
thought I
is
had the
amazing.
copy he burned for me right here, but I don't.
Mhm.
I know I have
Ah.
it somewhere, but I was looking. I was
Well,
like,
you
do I
can-
have it right here.
I wouldn't bother with the copy he burned you. I would just pick the game up on like GOG or something, and then
Yeah,
play
when I
with
get around to
the
playing it, I will.
GMDX mod.
I'll just pick it up on like Steam or GOG. But I was just
Yeah,
seeing if
they're-
I had the disc handy that he burned.
Yeah,
for me
so there are a
back
couple
in high
mods,
school.
GMDX and Revision. You can install either one of those, and they try to make a bunch of like basic improvements and some graphical improvements and stuff as well.
Nice.
But yeah, if you set all that up, the game does run pretty well, and it was also designed for PC. So
I think that was the only thing it was released on, right?
I believe so. There was a PS2 version, but it was heavily cut down, and I would not recommend it. I never played it, but I know it was heavily cut down. So I didn't mean. But yeah, so yeah,
It's
Deus
got a
Ex.
crowbar. Hey,
Yes, you get a
you're not
crowbar.
Gordon Freeman.
What year did Half-Life 1 come out?
That's a good question.
97, 98.
Okay, so that would have come out a couple years before this. This is 2000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say I think it was like 96. Let's see here. 98, you were right.
Okay,
So-
yeah, so that predates this by a couple of years, but
Okay, so Gordon Freeman did it first. Yes.
yeah, but this is such an interest. It's just such a cool RPG. Everything, the world building, the characters, the story, all of it just feels so cool and very, it just feels very exciting. And also, in this level, the game also predicted 9/11, mostly by accident.
Oh, snap. Oh,
Yeah, because they somehow forgot to include the World Trade Center in the skyline for this level.
oh, they forgot to, so it like unintentionally.
Yeah, and then like a year later, 9/11 happens.
Yeah, this game came out in 2000, so
Yep.
It looks like they did release a PS2 version called Deus Ex:
Yeah.
The Conspiracy.
Yep,
and it
that's
does
what I
not
mentioned
have a retro
earlier.
achievement set, but there are 214 people who are requesting it. Jeez.
Yeah, but I would not recommend. I would not recommend the PS2 version. It's
Ah.
heavily cut down.
Oh, you did just mention that. Oh, someone
Yeah.
is working on a retro achievement set for it right now. So
Okay.
soon-ish it'll have a retro achievement set, but yeah, I'll play the PC version.
Yeah, the PC version is just fantastic.
So I've been hearing this term get thrown around a lot over the last year or so. I'm assuming that this game would qualify, for what I've been hearing, as an immersive sim. I don't really know what that means, but
Yeah,
Would
I don't
this-
know what that means either.
game qualify as what people consider immersive sim? It seems
I
like
mean, it's immersive, and I mean, there's a simulation aspect to it, I guess.
So, like,
I
it
don't-
seems like a very nebulous term. Whenever someone
Yeah.
uses it, it's like, what does that mean? The game that I usually hear it in reference to is Dishonored, which I know you and I are big fans of, and also Prey, like 2017 Prey.
So it's a video game genre that emphasizes player choice, core defining traits, use of simulated systems that respond to a variety of player actions with blah 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 blah. Yeah, I guess that would. I guess it would count because it seems like the idea of an immersive sim is it lets you make a lot of choices and it has very like open-ended gameplay. So yeah.
Whenever I hear
Oh,
that term,
yeah, the Wikipedia article right here says early examples include Thief, Thief 2, System Shock 2, as well as the first Deus Ex. So there you go.
Okay,
There you
cool.
go. Yeah, whenever I hear someone use that term, they're always talking about a game that has like a high degree of not just choice, but like interaction with the world around you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a ton of that in this game.
So does that make Skyrim an immersive sim?
Good question.
There's elements to it there at least.
You could definitely
'Cause,
make
like-
the argument.
That's what I was just gonna say. It's like I think
Yeah.
you can make the argument that it is.
Not just Skyrim, but yeah, all the more modern Bethesda games. Well, okay, so actually the
Yeah.
Wikipedia here says the earlier games were not immersive sims, but Oblivion transitioned the series to an immersive sim.
Oblivion, Skyrim, yeah, probably Starfield would
I
count.
can make the argument Morrowind is as well though.
I would
Like
think so.
there's not as much like with Oblivion, it makes you feel like you're there because of like the physics engine, everything works in like real time. But Morrowind like has all of that, except like, you know, you can't throw things around. But like you can pick up and interact with stuff and place things wherever you want. So I don't know.
I haven't played any of the Elder Scrolls games. I have played Fallout though, and I think you could say that, you know, from 3 onward they would probably fall under the immersive sim genre.
I think I've also heard the Metro series described as an immersive sim.
I played the first 2 of those, and it is very much like this in that regard. So I could definitely understand why that would be qualified as one as well. So, all right, Deus Ex. Yeah, I got to play that at some point just because everyone says how good that game was, and I just never really gave it a chance.
Yeah, highly recommend it. But yeah, it is also, there are also elements of the, I guess, RPG aspect of it that can be a little bit tricky or difficult. So, yeah, there's that. Like the gameplay, the basic gameplay is not that hard, but the more RPG parts of it are sometimes. So,
Okay. It looks like it does not exist on Steam, so I'm assuming it exists on
Deus
GOG.
Ex?
Yeah,
Deus Ex is definitely on Steam.
it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like Deus Ex Anniversary Edition or something like that, I think.
Oh.
I have it. Hold on, let me pull mine up. Because
Oh,
I
there's-
actually have it on Steam.
Oh, they have
they
Deus
were-
Ex Remastered. Oh, that's the one that's coming out next year.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Collection of Invisible War. Is it Deus Ex the Fall?
No.
Oh, Game of the Year edition. It's way down here at the bottom of the list. It's,
Okay,
it's
there you
on
go.
sale right now, 86% off for less than $1.
Yeah. And there's also a mod that's on Steam called Deus Ex Revision. And so you can install both of those and it heavily improves the gameplay.
Oh, it's full price is only $7, but it's on sale right now for less than $1. I'm gonna go ahead and pick that up.
Yeah, I have the Game of the Year edition on Steam. I think they were giving that out for free at one point a while back. But wait. Yeah, I got it in 2018, so that was a long time ago. I still haven't played it. That's a crime against gaming.
Mhm.
I need to rectify that immediately.
You want a crime against gaming, look at the remaster.
I'll check it out after the stream. What is that coming from your stream there, Nightmare? I'm getting music.
Music. I don't know. Let me see.
Not
Is that
me.
from the video you're playing? Is anyone else hearing that, or is it? Oh, it's because I'm an idiot. It's because the video started playing on Steam. When I pulled up Deus Ex, it's like I thought it was your gameplay. It's just me. I'm an idiot.
Yeah. But yeah, you can get the Steam version of the game and then Deus Ex Revision is on Steam.
I see that community made
Yeah.
mod.
Yep. So if you grab both of those, it is it makes the game very, very playable on PC. So
Okay, I'll
you
pick
can
that
also
up.
get it on GOG, but I think the GOG version of the mod is outdated. So,
Okay. So yeah, Angry Canadian says I'd probably buy it on GOG. A lot of the older Steam games don't run well. That is true. I'm assuming this revision mod kind of alleviates that.
yes. Yeah. It puts the game into like DirectX 9 and modernizes the engine a bit.
And then October Mike says, talk about crimes against gaming. $70 for the Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 remasters.
True.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right. Jason, I'll run through your stuff kind of here before we get to the end because he did kind of talk about each of his games. So I'll read through that here in a little bit. So to round out our number twos, I will finish this off here. And I didn't pull it out yet, but right here, I streamed it earlier this year, and it's one of my favorite games of all time. And it was my palate cleanser after the pain that was Dark Souls that I went through. My favorite hack and slash of all time, Ninja Gaiden Black. And so there was originally Ninja Gaiden on Xbox, and there's Ninja Gaiden Black. It's the same game, but because this was in the early days of Xbox Live, most people didn't have Xbox Live, so the DLC that was free on Xbox Live, they re-released it on the disc as Ninja Gaiden Black. So it's still the same game. So if anyone wants to pull any of that technicality shenanigans, it is still the same game, just with some added bonus content to it. But yeah, I love this game. I'm currently replaying it right now, but I'm playing the Ninja Gaiden Sigma version. And because most of the hardcore purists say that the Sigma versions are terrible. This is my first time playing through the Sigma version, so I'm discovering for myself. So far, it hasn't been too bad. But the one thing that I'm not a huge fan of, because Dude's also been playing through it, at least before his flooding incident, but he's playing the Sigma version as well. And they added some sections where you actually play through as Rachel, and they're kind of annoying. And I've kind of put...
I hated those sections.
The Sigma version, like I said, I'm playing through the Sigma version right now, and this is the first time, and I've put it on hold. I haven't really touched it in about 2 weeks because I'm on the third, I think, and final Rachel level, and I just really, really don't want to play it. But there's none of that in this one. From all the purists say that this is the best version of the first game to play, and because there's this and there's Ninja Gaiden Sigma. But on Ninja Gaiden 2, there's 3 versions. There's Ninja Gaiden 2, which is the original release on 360. Then there's Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, which was the PS3 version, which I've heard is absolutely terrible. Then they had the recent release earlier this year, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. I will be playing both Sigma 2 and Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, so I can just see for myself the differences between them. But most people say that the original version of Ninja Gaiden 2 is the best way to play it. And all the purists say that Ninja Gaiden Black is the best way to play the first one. And I love this game so much, and it's one of the hardest games I've ever beaten, and also one of the most frustrating games I've ever played. Dude can attest. Now, I don't think I got as mad as this as I did at Dark Souls, but I'll scream and yell and holler at this game and be all mad, but I still love it so much. I think Dude has the same feelings like that towards Dark Souls, but I did not like Dark Souls. But I love Ninja Gaiden despite how angry it makes me. And I did actually rearrange my top 10 list of games of all time on Fuse just today, where this was in my top 3. I did bump it down just a little bit, but it is still in my top 5 favorite games of all time. I love this game so much. And playing the Sigma version makes me want to go back and play the original version. Yeah. Very hard. One of the nice things that they added in Black is because people were complaining about how difficult the original Ninja Gaiden on Xbox was. They did add an easier difficulty in addition to also adding a more difficult version, because the original Ninja Gaiden Black on Xbox only had normal, hard, and very hard. This one added Master Ninja, and then also added Ninja Dog mode, which was the easy journalist mode for those who couldn't make it. But it can still be pretty difficult on Ninja Dog mode if you've never played it before, because it's
doesn't the game like
brutally
crap
difficult
on
game.
you if you choose the easy modes?
Yeah, so that is the one funny thing is that you don't have the difficulty unlocked by default when you first start Ninja Gaiden Black. All you have is normal, and then the first level is what you're seeing right here on Lois's screen. That's the first level of the game. If you die 3 times in the first level, it'll give you the option like, hey, do you want to take the easy way out? And it drops the difficulty. And if you do that, then the entire rest of the game, you have this giant pink ribbon around your wrist, and it's really long and flowing. So it's kind of mocks you a little bit, saying that you took the easy way out, and you have this big pink ribbon on your wrist for the entire rest of the game. But yeah, I love this game so much, and it is awesome. But it's very difficult. So
Nice.
So that is my number 2, and I streamed the entirety of Ninja Gaiden Black on hard, even though I hadn't played it in a very long time. I was like, I can't play it on normal. I got to play it on hard. So after I beat Dark Souls earlier in January, I did a playthrough, and I got the playlist. If someone wants to watch me play it, you can see the game in its entirety on hard difficulty. But yeah, so all right. Well, that will wrap up our number 2s. But as usual, before we get to our number 1s, we have honorable mentions. And I'll go ahead and kick us off with honorable mentions. I kind of make it a habit of doing that. So I have 2 sets of honorable mentions. One are also games that fit my self-imposed criteria where but then there are another set of lists where there are first games in the franchise, but I haven't played other games in the franchise. But of the ones that I've also played multiple games in the franchise, other runner-ups that I really enjoyed is I love Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. I played it twice, and I'm still planning on playing it again because I played the Xbox One version, the original one, and then I played the Game of the Year edition, which is the same game, just with all the DLC included. And then I bought the 360 version before the 360 store shut down, so I can play it again because I really love that game. The original Crackdown, I only bought it for the Halo 3 beta, but I fell in love with that game, and is one of those great games. Like, a lot of people, if you don't like collectathons, you might not like Crackdown, but just running around collecting orbs is a lot of fun. I love the orbs. They have just a great sound, and then when you collect them, the chime that you get when you get them, and one of the cool things that only the first game did that the others didn't is when you level up your driving skill, your agency vehicles get cooler and they transform, and the agency supercar basically turns into the Batmobile from the animated series. And there's 3 different agency vehicles, and they all have different abilities. But I love Crackdown. It's basically like GTA but fun, and you're playing the cops instead of the bad guys. Another Metroidvania that I really liked is Guacamelee. I love both of them, but I do like the first one better. And it's really bright and colorful, and it's got a lot of Easter eggs, and it's a really fun game. If you like side-scrolling 2D Metroidvanias, give Guacamelee a shot. I think you'll like it. Those are fun games. I like the first one slightly better than the second one, so that's on here. And then another Metroidvania, because I often rant about how there's so few 3D Metroidvanias and even less first persons. The Supra Land games are great. They're first person, you have a gun, but it's not a weapon. It's like the Portal gun from like Portal. So it's mainly used for solving puzzles, but it's a first person puzzling Metroidvania. And the first one I played the second one. It's good too, but not as good as the first one. So that's why I put that on there. And then a last one on here that in the first section is Mirror's Edge. I love that game so much, and it was one of my proudest, for a long time, it was one of my proudest 100%, getting all the achievements, because getting all the stars in the time trial modes was incredibly difficult. But that is just such a good game. I don't know if Paul's still here. He rated the stream, but I haven't seen him show up in chat. He constantly rants about how amazing the music is in this game, and it does have really great music. So, and then I'll just burn through my honorable mentions of games where I've my second tier, Journey to the Savage Planet, is another Metroidvania first-person shooter that I really love, but I haven't played the second one yet. Ghost Runner, really like that one. Haven't played the second one yet. I talked about Mega Man Powered Up earlier. That was another one. Dark Forces, I love that one, but it's not my favorite in the franchise, so that's why I put it in the second section. the original Splinter Cell. I love that game, but it's not my favorite in the franchise, so I didn't put it in there. Depending on how you fall on the whole subset argument, and this is why I put it in my honorable mentions. Doom 2016, even though it is basically direct sequel, a continuation of the game, sort of, but it's very different than the other one. So, like, I consider the modern Doom games, 2016, Eternal, and Dark Ages, as like a sub franchise of Doom. So, I wanted to mention Doom 2016, but depending, I didn't put that in my main or my first set of honorable mentions because it might not qualify as a subgenre or sub franchise. And then, of course,
I wonder if Mike agrees with that. He's a big Doom guy.
Okay. And then, of course, the first game in my favorite franchise of all time, but it's not my favorite in that franchise, Mass Effect. I love the original Mass Effect a lot as well. So, yeah. So, all right, Lois, what about you? What are your honorable mentions?
Well, I mentioned at the start that there was a couple that I was like having a really hard time deciding which one I should pick for number 5.
Oh, sorry to interrupt really quick because I like to talk
ahead.
about that early in the stream and I totally forgot. This one was actually really easy for me to pick my 5. When I had my long list, it was actually pretty easy to narrow it down to 5. It was just the hard part was just figuring out what order they were going to be in.
Yeah, it was tough for me, especially considering how nebulous Trails in the Sky was, and then whether I should put that at number 5 or I don't know. I spent a lot of time thinking about it actually, but my top 3 at least were easier. But anyway, the ones that I couldn't decide between for number 5, the first one was Panel de Pon or Tetris Attack. Have any of you guys played that?
Yeah.
I know of Tetris Attack, but I haven't played it.
It's my favorite like puzzle game, Tetris-like game of all time, basically. And the reason why I didn't include it was because Nintendo is basically treating the franchise like it doesn't exist, except for like the one on the DS ever since the 90s, which is unfortunate because it's like their best puzzle series that they've ever made. But yeah, I wish they would bring it back. I really do. We could do a Panel de Pon versus Tetris like they did with the Puyo Puyo one. It would work, maybe. Anyway, the other honorable mention I had a hard time deciding from was Xenogears, which is the first game in the Xeno series, which includes the modern Xenoblade games. Allegedly.
Oh, I know. We talked about this because I know one of them you're not a fan of, but you do like the others.
There's 2 I'm not a fan of, and those are the 2 most recent Xenoblade Chronicles.
Okay.
So 2 and 3. But the reason why I ended up not putting this one on the list, even though I really love this game and its story, is that one, it hasn't aged super well. Gameplay wise, I thought it was kind of tedious to get through when I first played it, but that's also because it was not the first one I played. I played all 3 Xenosaga games and Xenoblade Chronicles before Xenogears. But the story of that game had me so enthralled that I went through it anyway. I suffered through the horrendous visuals and the flashing light screen that they do in the combat for some reason. On the PS1, and the story was so good that I had to see it through. But we still don't know if it's connected to the modern games or not. So that's another reason why it's in my honorable mentions instead of number 5.
Okay.
And we'll probably never know because that one's owned by Square Enix and the modern ones are all Nintendo. And then Xenosaga is Bandai Namco, so it's a disaster. And then for the rest of them, we can run through the rest of my honorable mentions real quick. Fable, the first one, Golden Sun, Darksiders 1, Drakengard 1, Rock Band 1, Black and White, Arts and
love that one.
Yeah, I do, but unfortunately the series is dead now. Arts and Ellico, Melody of Alemia, the first Sonic the Hedgehog, Super Mario Bros. The first one, the first Shining Force, Gravity Rush, which I played the remastered version on PS4, not the Vita original. Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, that's becoming a franchise now, and unfortunately, they're making a mobile game out of it.
Never heard of it.
And then I have Donkey Kong Country in my honorable mentions as well.
Nice.
The first Kingdom Hearts, that's pretty much the only game in the series that I like. I played through a lot of 2, and I actually dropped it about 3/4 of the way. I'm like, yeah, this is getting weird. I'm done. Kingdom Hearts is a weird series. Hyrule Warriors, I have the first one of that, even though the first one has nothing to do with the others, pretty much. The first Dragon Quest Builders, Luigi's Mansion, Paper Mario, and Super Smash Bros. For the N64.
Nice. All right. So cool. And I was responding to October Might in chat, but I think you might have misunderstood. I was agreeing with you on the Doom things. He's saying everyone has their different opinions, so press X it out. I was agreeing with you that I wouldn't consider Doom 2016 as its own sub franchise, but I would like to, just so I could put it on this list. But that's why I put it in my honorable mentions. So
yeah, that's when I dropped Kingdom Hearts 2. Is the second time you go to the Tron world.
So all right. Nightmare, what are your honorable mentions?
All right, so I got quite a few, so buckle up here, but I'll run through them fast.
Oh, yep, I know what you love that one.
Yep. So first off, Ace Attorney. This is the first Ace Attorney, so Phoenix Wright. Now my favorite game in the series is Ace Attorney Investigations 2, but this is the first game of the series, and it is fantastic, and it kicked off the entire series. And of course, my favorite character, Edgeworth. He's kind of the main antagonist in this one. So, it's a fantastic game. I think originally it came out on Game Boy Advance, but, I love this game. If you're ever going to play the visual novel type of game, play these because it's just a lot of fun. I figured I'd throw in Animal Crossing because it spun out into a giant franchise. And, sometimes it's nice to have something a little bit relaxing. So, it's just a nice, relaxing series. So,
yeah, relaxing to be in interest debt for the rest of your life.
Yeah, there's that. But and then had to include Crazy Taxi. Kind of because there's at least 3 Crazy Taxi games. But yeah, Crazy Taxi just.
Someone was mentioning something in a stream just like yesterday, the day before, that there was a certain Sublime song that when they hear that, all they think of is Crazy Taxi.
Oh, okay. No, when I hear that one Offspring song.
Offspring, that's what it was, not Sublimes. Yeah. It probably was you then.
Yeah, it's the one that goes, yeah, at the beginning. That's all I remember, by the way.
Oh, I think it was during Melee Music. I think that's what it was last week.
That might have been it, yeah.
I was actually familiar with that song, like, without the game, actually.
Oh, that's funny,
I had the album.
Yeah, I only know the game, and I only know like that first 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I had Americana. That was the Offspring album that I had.
Yeah, but yeah, there is at some point I probably will stream Crazy Taxi 3 because you can mod a bunch of the well, I think it has some of the Crazy Taxi 1 and 2 content, and then you can mod some of the other content in there. But yeah, it's just a great franchise, very arcadey, but it's so much fun, and it's a very like just playing that game is so nostalgic, and there's also something really nice about just driving around in the sunshine, So, great game. I think it absolutely deserves to be in the honorable mentions here. Next up, Dishonored, because it's just a fantastic game overall, great story, very well executed, and yeah, just a very fun game. Lots of gives you lots of choice as well. Next up is Doom. I put the original Doom on here, and yeah, I don't consider Doom 2016 its own.
Yeah, I want to just because I want to put it on the list, but I really wouldn't consider.
Yeah, if it were a sub franchise, I would have put Doom 2016 on here, but it's the same Doom guy, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to put Doom on here just because it's the original. It was such an achievement, it laid the foundation for so many things. Although, I always wondered who the second Marine in the back on the cover is, because there's no second Marine in the game.
They did add co-op in later versions, but I don't know if it was in the original release.
It was the cut player 2.
It's the Luigi of Doom.
Yeah. Next up, Infamous. So I think the first two Infamous games are great. I think after that, it kind of went off the rails when they started introducing new main characters. But especially the original Infamous, I think has the better voice actor for Cole, the main character. But this was kind of in the vein of Dishonored, a very interesting concept and it was a very fun game. There was this kind of a superhero thing to it, because you got electrical powers, and a lot of the cutscenes are also in that like comic book style format. But it's a very fun game. You get to run around and do all the open world superhero stuff, and it's an interesting story too. Yeah, and you get to become just incredibly powerful, and then there's also the whole good and evil system. So, very, very fun game. Yeah, it's too bad they took the series in a weird direction, and now Sucker Punch isn't even making them. So,
could you imagine a modern PlayStation company doing a good and evil system today?
Yeah, unfortunately, I could, and it's not good.
It would probably be completely inverted. All the bad stuff is good, and all the good stuff is bad.
Yeah,
I didn't think
this
of
isn't
that.
A political
actually.
channel, so I won't. Yeah, this isn't a political channel, so I won't. I won't give any details.
Fair enough.
But yeah, let's see a couple more. Katamari Damacy. This is just another kind of relaxing game. This one's weird because it's relaxing, but it's also not relaxing. It's like, it's all very serene and peaceful when you get into it. And then before you know it, by the end of the level, you're just like running around, panicking like crazy, trying to get the ball of stuff as big as possible. But it's just such a nice game to just like fire up and play every once in a while and just do nothing. And
are all the levels like time limited?
No. So typically they are, but a lot of levels will do they'll give you like some particular objective, or they'll say, make the thing is collect this many of this item, or just make the ball this size or something like that. So yeah, and there are a few of these. I think the first two have remakes that are on Steam, so that's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's just a great series. Let's see, Monkey Island. Had to put Monkey Island on here. I think especially the first two Monkey Island games are really great. I really loved Insult Sword Fighting. I mean, you can't beat that. Now I will say I haven't actually played the original Monkey Island 1 and 2. I only played the remakes, but the remakes are fantastic.
Yeah, I played the Xbox Live Arcade version of the first one.
Okay. Nice. But yeah, these are really something special when it comes to point and click adventure games. And I really wish we got more games in this style, because you just don't get like point and click adventure games too often anymore.
There are actually quite a few. There's quite a few indie ones that come out, but they're not like, you have to really dig to find them. They don't get marketed very heavily, and a lot of publishers don't typically pick them up.
Yeah, there's that. And then they also don't always have like that same like good combination of like humor and adventure that a lot of these older titles had.
Yeah.
A recent one, I played it, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years ago, but it was, from what I gathered, it was made by a bunch of old LucasArts people. So if you like this, you might like it. It was called Thimbleweed Park.
I think I've heard the name.
I think I've heard of that.
So it's a point and click by a bunch of, it even has references to LucasArts and stuff. So
nice.
It may be something right up your alley if you're looking for a more recent point and click that's kind of in that genre.
Nice.
The last point and click I played was a game called Born Punk, which was made by a YouTuber by the name of Top Hats and Champagne, who isn't on the internet anymore, unfortunately. But before that, the only other one that I remember playing was the SpongeBob one from a long time ago.
Oh, I loved those. I have Employee of the Month.
Yep, that one.
Yeah, it is a pain to get running on a modern machine, though. I ended up trying to run it in a virtual machine, and it kind of works. But yeah, that is a fun one. But Yeah, and then they made there were a couple more too. I remember there was the SpongeBob movie game. On consoles, it was just like a typical platformer type thing, but the PC version was actually another point and click game.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
We had the movie game on Xbox, but
Yeah.
I didn't know
you gotta
there
get
was
the
a point and
PC one
click
if
as
it's-
well.
Yep. I have it somewhere. So Monkey Island, and then Psychonauts.
You
Figured
were
I'd throw
just
that up.
streaming that
on
earlier
there.
today.
I was. And yeah, it is technically a franchise because there are actually 3 games in the series. There's
Oh, what's the
Psychonauts
third
1. It's a VR game called Rhombus of Ruin, which takes place between Psychonauts 1 and 2.
Oh, I did not know that existed.
Yeah, it's okay. It's kind of weird. Not bad. Psychonauts 2 is
The Rhombus of Ruin, that reminds me of a line from Red versus Blue, because we were talking about that earlier. I don't remember exactly how the line go, but I just remember them like throwing out shapes and names, and it's like the Rhombus of Ruin, the parabola of mystery. Who knows?
yeah. Well, I think this one is a reference to the Bermuda Triangle.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, but Psychonauts 1 it's a great game. Again, it's got that because it's from Double Fine, which is a lot of LucasArts people. It's got a lot of that same LucasArts charm to it. The gameplay is really fun, platformery. I don't know if it counts as a Metroidvania, but maybe not quite a Metroidvania. But it
I know
does
a lot
have
of
a
people
lot
have
of
a lot of hold both games in pretty high regard.
Yeah, the second one, like the gameplay is fine, but the story is not very well written.
Okay.
So
Banjo-Tooie is a Metroidvania.
Really? I've never heard that
I'm
argument made
I'm half joking, but we'll talk about Banjo-Tooie another time.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, just a couple more here. So Shadow Warrior 2013. I don't know if I've talked to you about this one, Neo, but I think you would really like it if you haven't played it.
You have, because I've talked about, like, the only Shadow Warrior game I played is Shadow Warrior 3, because it was on Game Pass, and I liked it a lot because it played very much like Doom Eternal, and everyone's like, this game sucks. I'm like, what are you talking about? But I haven't played 1 or 2, and they're like, go play the first one. It's way better.
Yeah. So the first one plays a lot. I would say probably more like Doom 2016 does. This is the first game in Shadow Warrior, the 2013 franchise, because there's like an old Shadow Warrior game, but I'm not counting that because it's basically unrelated.
Yeah, that'd be a different sub.
Yeah, but this game is great. Shadow Warrior 2 is also excellent. That one's got a little bit more of like an open world-ishness to it. But yeah, 1 and 2 are excellent. But yeah, the Shadow Warrior 1 is great. It is a fantastic game. And I would say that 1 and 2 are underrated. And then just a couple more here. I had to include Super Smash Brothers 64.
Hell yeah.
It inspired
a lot of fun with that.
so much. Yeah.
That was on
And
my
then-
top 5 commercials when he did top 5 commercial. That one had a great commercial.
Yeah. And then I had to include Uncharted. Now, the first one is not necessarily the best game in the franchise. I think 2 is generally regarded as the best. And
Is Drake's Fortune, is that the subtitle of the first one?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I thought Drake's Fortune was like a spin-off game or something.
Nope. The first one is just called Uncharted Drake's Fortune. But yeah, because the second one is so good, people tend to kind of forget the first one or downplay it. But it is a pretty great game in its own right. So, and it kicked off a franchise of what I would say are at least 3 great games. So Uncharted 1, 2, and 3. So Uncharted 1 is absolutely worth playing if you like that, that old cinematic style of gameplay before Sony started. Well, not just Sony, but before everybody started making this style of game terrible.
I always wanted to play the
want a
Uncharted
good-
games.
yeah.
I just never got a chance to because they're on PlayStation.
Yeah. Well, you can emulate all of them, all the good ones now. But yeah, so if you like that cinematic action adventure type of game, highly recommend Uncharted 1 as well as 2 and 3. 4, But yeah, so that is it for my honorable mentions.
All right. So that leaves us with Jason and his honorable mentions.
Yeah, I got a few. See, Dead Space. That's gonna be on one of mine. Bioshock. That was close. Didn't make my 5, but that one was really, really close for me. A game that a lot of people don't know that I played a lot of back in college, but I don't play much now. But I had Dota on there. I played so much Dota back in college, and
I don't think I've ever heard you mention Dota before.
yeah, and I don't play any of like League or any of that now. But I played so much in college. The first one, though it's not the greatest of games and a franchise that needs to come back, but Dino Crisis 1 is by far better than any other of the Dino Crisis that came after that. And then I put it because they have Chrono Cross and everything, but I have Chrono Trigger that just missed my top 5.
Okay. All right. Well, that will bring us into our number ones. So with that, let's go ahead and have Nightmare kick us off with number 1.
All right, he's saying this because he knows what my number 1 is.
Well,
I haven't told him,
also
but he knows.
because he did tell me he has to be up pretty early tomorrow, and I wanted him to be able to leave if he needed to. But I obviously know what his number 1 is going to be.
Yeah. So if you haven't guessed, Batman Arkham Asylum.
Shocking.
It is. Yep. Yeah, it is.
Shocked,
I mean,
shocked.
it is one of the.
I'm not that shocked, really.
Yeah. Yeah, the Arkham games, I mean, they're one of the best series of games of all time. Definitely right up there, best superhero games of all time.
Absolutely.
Now, people will often say that City is the best game. There's no.
That's
I
my
think there's an
favorite.
argument for. Yeah, I think there's an argument for each of the big the 3 main titles. But there's something special about Asylum, not just because it was the very first in the series, although for what it was amazing. It was an excellent game with so much depth, and there's just so much you can do in the game that no other game had ever even considered. The game was built around Batman. So it wasn't just like I often say, it wasn't just an action game with Batman in it. It was a fundamentally Batman game that was built around the character of Batman. And they got Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill. Just everything was so great. I mean, really, the one and only complaint that I have is that Alfred does not make any appearance in it. But beyond that, it is such an excellent title. I still have very fond memories of downloading the demo on my PS3 when I was before the game had even come out, just playing the demo over and over again, and then I got the game and I just played the heck out of it. And it not only is it so much fun to play, the gameplay is fantastic, of course, but it tells a great story. The voice acting, the graphics, just everything about this game is so well executed. And unlike the other games, because this game is set in Arkham Asylum, it also has this really special, sort of atmosphere to it, where you're in the asylum, you're basically in a horror setting, right? Like in some ways, it's a horror game, but you're scarier than just about everything else in the asylum. So
You are the
Yeah, it's
monster.
exactly, yeah, kind of like Doom Guy, how he's scarier than everything in hell.
Yep.
So if you're looking for a great game to play for October, this is a great choice.
That is a good October game. Is
So-
this your footage that we're watching?
No.
Okay. 'cause
I don't
sw-
have any gameplay footage.
Okay. 'Cause I was like, I swear I've seen this exact video before, and it's probably
You've seen it before because I probably pulled this same video up last time I mentioned it on a top 5 or party chat.
Yeah, I was gonna say since I've seen this exact footage before, it was either your video or you're just using the same one you did last time.
Yeah, most likely.
So, yeah, it is a great game. My biggest issue, I did come to like it after a while, but I wasn't a huge fan of it at the beginning. But I loved the Predator aspect and the stealth and the sneaking
Yes.
section. I just wasn't a fan of the combat, and I had to come around on that. But now I might like the combat sections better than the stealth sections now. So
I still think that the Predator sections are probably the best part of the gameplay because it's such a unique type of stealth where you're, it feels like Batman again, where you're hunting the villains or you're hunting the thugs, and they're terrified of you, but you still have to do it in stealth. And they give you so many different ways to take down the various thugs too. The combat, I think the combat is great once you understand that there's like a rhythm to it.
Yes.
Yeah. And it makes sense when you think about it, because Batman, he's very strong, but he's at the end of the day, he is still human. So it's going to take a little work to take down a thug in that direct head-to-head fight. So
Yeah. So yeah, no surprise, but it is definitely a really good game, and it should be my favorite of the Arkham games, given that it is a Metroidvania, and the other ones aren't because they're too open world. But yeah, City is my favorite, but there's something I like about all four of them, where they each have something in them that I like better than something in all the others. So
yeah,
but,
I think Origins is the weakest one in my opinion, but
still worth playing in my opinion.
Yeah, it is still worth playing. But it is not as good as the others.
So October Mike says, nice game. I've yet to play Origins of Night. And Night is, man, that game is over 10 years old now because it came out in 2015. It still looks amazing.
Yep.
So.
Well, unless you play it on like a 4K screen, at which point it will start to kind of show its age, just because mostly because the textures are kind of start to look a little low res.
But yeah, that's still a great game. Got a lot of flack because of the Batmobile, but it's still also a great game.
Hey, look, the only thing I didn't like about the Batmobile was the weird tank stealth segments with the Cobra tanks. But aside from that, driving the Batmobile around and just running over everything, that is the most fun car I have ever driven in a video game.
Yeah, and the fact that it transforms into a tank is really freaking cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool, yeah.
So, October Mike says, "God, Poison Ivy was thick as hell."
Oh, in this game, when you fight Poison Ivy, I remember like the way she moans. I had to turn the volume down on the TV.
So, what are you playing in there?
Yeah, exactly. I was still at home. I was still just a kid, when I played that. So I was like, yeah, maybe
I swear I'm not
so
gooning.
my mom doesn't. So my mom doesn't come up here like, what is this, and take my game away.
So, yep. Oh, good game, excellent game, and it kind of makes me want to replay it again. Which
I've been meaning to replay these games for so long, but I want to install like a bunch of mods for like graphics and stuff. So
I still have 2 more stacks because on Xbox, at least in the Xbox ecosystem, there's 6 versions of it. I've beaten 3 of them so far. There are 3 left, but one of them I'm not going to play because it's the Japanese version, which means you got to get a Japanese 360. So I'm not going to do that. But there are still 2 more versions, and it's the regular original release and the Game of the Year edition, since they are each counted as separate versions. But the Games for Windows Live version. So
I don't even think that'll run anymore.
It runs. It's
Really?
a pain in the butt to get running.
Yeah.
So I still have 2 more stacks to do of that, and I kind of want to do it right now because it's making me want to go play it again. Because it's been a while since I played it. I did Arkham City last year, but it's been a couple years since I played Asylum.
I think I have one Games for Windows Live game, but fortunately, it's only the multiplayer that requires that. So you can just install it and play it. So
It was
do you know which one that was? It's the complete edition of Age of Empires 3. I think it came out. That was like 2009. That's when that Games for Windows Live thing was going, wasn't it?
Yeah,
sounds about right.
Because Arkham Asylum was 2009.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense then. Yep. Fortunately, I can put it in and play it whenever I want.
Yeah, you can't still go get any of the games off of the Games for Windows Live because that's shut down, but you can still install the launcher, and any games that you bought during the time that it was still live, you should be able to re-download and install. But yeah, it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, let's go. Let's go in the clockwise order. So, and then we'll finish with Jason. So, Lewis, what is your number 1?
My number 1 might be a surprise pick, but might not be. My number 1 is the first Roller Coaster Tycoon game.
Roller Coaster Tycoon. I
Yeah.
know those are loved. I never played any of those games.
Loved is an understatement. This is easily one of my favorite franchises ever.
Oh, okay.
And this game did so many things shockingly right and good for its time that it holds up really, really well. You can put it in and play it and have fun pretty much anytime, even now. Might be a little on the tedious side if you need to organize the terrain like this guy is doing, but aside from that, it's super fun. It's super easy to play. It's not super difficult either, so it's like it's a good introduction to this type of game.
I did play classic Sim City, which was kind of like that, but yeah, that was about the closest thing to these type of games that I ever played. How many games are there in the Roller Coaster Tycoon franchise?
If you only count the numbered ones, there's 4 or 5 maybe. Because
Okay.
there's one called Roller Coaster Tycoon World. So the problem is that after 3, you can basically just ignore everything that came out because they tried to turn it into like a live service thing.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, so 4 and World are heavily criticized. I haven't even tried them because of what I've heard about them, which couldn't give you the details on. That was a long time ago. So, but 1, 2, and 3 are all amazing. 2 is kind of like an expansion on 1. It feels like an expansion of Roller Coaster Tycoon 1. Whereas 3 is like completely 3D and everything's different, but still
Okay.
feels it still has the same core gameplay to it. But yeah, this game came out, I think it was 1999 when it came out.
I will
And it's
check.
like shockingly advanced for when it came out. Like there's so much stuff you can manage and micromanage, and there's just so much going on that you can get really sucked in and play it for hundreds of hours and never get tired of it.
Yeah, there's no end, so you could just keep playing it forever. So, can you
There-
actually beat the game?
Yes, there technically is an end. So you have like a selection of scenarios, and then you have to beat certain goals for each one. And then once you complete them, then you complete all of them, and you basically beat the game.
Okay. Yeah, I figured there was probably some sort of end goal, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. You just kind of like
Mhm.
essentially like a free roam sort of thing, and just keep building and building and do whatever you want.
Yep. So like after you reach the goal, you can just keep going in the same park and just do whatever you want. It wasn't until the second game where they added like a true sandbox mode where you can literally do whatever you want and like
Okay.
create your own map and all that stuff. So I think for that reason, a lot of people like the second one more. The second one is also like way harder than the first one. The goals for that one are gonna really test you.
So, like, how would you fail a goal? Is there like a time limit on these?
Yeah, some of them have time limits, and I think some of them don't. I think you just have to reach a certain point on some of them.
Okay.
But some of them you have to like reach a goal before a certain amount of time has passed.
Gotcha. So, how many parks have you built?
How do I answer that question?
Can you give an estimate?
Nope. Couldn't even begin to try. Probably it's in the hundreds.
Okay, I was gonna say, is it more than 100?
Yeah, well if it's just this game, it's probably around like 50. But if we can count like the whole series, then it's in the hundreds.
Nice.
Because this isn't my favorite game in the series.
But you do still love it.
Yeah, and it's still like I picked it as number 1 because it's like the perfect example of how to do a first game in the series right.
It's a great first game in this franchise.
Yeah.
Okay.
And apparently it was also made by like one person.
Impressive.
Yep. And then Canadian brought up it was also a cereal box game. Yeah, this game would come in the cereal boxes back in the 90s too.
I remember I don't know if it was the only one, but the only one that I remember cereal box game was Chex Quest.
We had a Captain Crunch's Crunchling Adventure, but I think you had to actually buy that one by like mailing in money or something
Oh.
like that. It wasn't worth it.
I remember Chexus was actually pretty good, but I heard that was basically just a reskin of the original Doom. But I hadn't played Doom, so I didn't know.
That's funny.
But yeah, I looked it up, and yeah, the original came out in March of '99.
Yep.
Which I think.
So there is also since like the main series has kind of gone off the deep end, there's a spiritual successor called Planet Coaster. What are you shocked about?
I was like, wait a minute. I think, and I looked it up. They both Roller Coaster Tycoon came out on the same day as my favorite movie of all time, The Matrix.
Oh, there you go. Must have been a really good day, huh?
It was March 31st, 1999. So sorry to interrupt you on whatever thought you were saying. But
Oh, there's a spiritual successor called Planet Coaster, and that was made by like some of the devs that worked on Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, I think.
okay.
So
But
that's
from a different company?
it's by Frontier, which is the same company that worked on 3.
Okay.
But I think like the company has like shifted and people have left, and it's probably a very different company than it used to be.
Gotcha. So you're also catching some flack from Jason in chat saying you're a boomer for this pick.
Oh, I'm not even going to deny that.
So, guilty.
Listen, you gotta respect the OGs, and this is one of the good ones. This is one of the best ones out there.
I know this is a popular franchise, just not one that I ever got into.
Yeah,
I
there
never
was
actually
also
had the opportunity to play it back in the day. I didn't actually learn about it till much later.
yeah, there was also a Zoo Tycoon that came out. I think that was like 2001 ish, and that one we didn't get Zoo Tycoon 2 until like 2008 or something like that.
Pretty.
And at
decent
that
sized gap.
point, yeah, at that point I wasn't playing on PC, just because that's just how it worked out. Our PC, well, it was the same PC I played this game on originally, and it was too old to run the newer games at that point.
Gotcha.
But I never got a chance to play Zoo Tycoon 2. I should probably go back and do that someday.
You were a fan of the Zoo Tycoon games as well?
Yep. Zoo Tycoon. Oh, you know what? I didn't put that in my honorable mentions. We can consider that an honorable mention.
The Zoo Tycoon one as well is your honorable mention? Okay.
Yeah, although I think that one only has 2 games in it, so maybe that's why I didn't think about it.
Okay. Canadian says, yeah, he loves Zoo Tycoon as well.
It's so good. And Zoo Tycoon, the first Zoo Tycoon, actually, it was still like 2D with like the illusion of being 3D, like Roller Coaster Tycoon is, but the graphics, in my opinion, were way better. Just because that was made. Oh, it might have been made by it was published by Microsoft, Zoo Tycoon 1. So they probably just had a bigger budget.
Okay. All right. So we got Roller Coaster Tycoon for number 1. Yeah, I would not have guessed that.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I will go ahead and finish my list off with my number 1. And this shouldn't be too big of a surprise. Arguably one of the best GameCube games of all time, Metroid Prime. But Metroid Prime Remastered is the definitive best way to play it. But yeah, Metroid Prime, my number 1 favorite first game in a franchise. Also my favorite Metroid game. Love this game so much. And as I said earlier when I started off with my number 5, like Subnautica is the one that I've actually played the least most recently. Because I played Ninja Gaiden Black or Ninja Gaiden Sigma. I played once and a half because I'm currently in the middle of Sigma this year. I played Mega Man X like once or twice this year. Halo I played just a couple months ago with my buddy. my friend IRL, and Metroid Prime. I've played this like 3 times, maybe 4 times since last summer. But yeah, I would have absolutely no problem whatsoever just picking up and playing through it again because I love this game so much. And like I said, in my opinion, it's the best Metroid game as well. And we need more games like this because there's so few first-person shooter Metroidvanias out there. So we talked about a bunch on Nerdtorial's channel last night about Metroid Prime 4. The recent announcement took a little bit of wind out of my sails, but I'm still excited for it, and I'm planning on playing it on day one. It'll be a tall order to live up to Metroid Prime 1, that's for sure, because this game is just so fantastic. But yeah, and if you probably a good starting point in the Metroid franchise as well, at least the remaster, because the modern controls, that's my biggest issue with the original one is the tank controls. I've played it on the GameCube original classic many times, so I'm used to it. But the modern controls they added in the remaster, if that was the only thing they added in the remaster, it's still worth the asking price. But they did make it look prettier, and there's some other quality of life improvements. But if you're like 3D games, you've never played a Metroid game, I'd say Metroid Prime Remastered is a great place to get into the franchise. If you wanted to play the 2D ones, I'd say play them in order. Probably the 2D Metroids, I'd say the best way to play it is Metroid Zero Mission, then AM2R, then Super Metroid Fusion Dread, because Metroids 1 and 2 both have multiple versions. But yeah, I'd say start with Zero Mission, because that's actually my favorite of the 2D Metroids is Zero Mission. But either one of those, you can't go wrong because this game is so great. And as we were talking about like collectathons, I wouldn't really call it a collectathon, but there are there's not too many, but not too few of collectible upgrades. So it always gives you that what's the dopamine, I think, is the chemical in your brain that gives you like the feeling of you accomplished something, or you're working towards something. So it's got a great amount of collectibles. That's one of the things that was, as I just finished replaying Other M earlier this week on Metroidvania Monday. God, I could not wait to be done with that game. That was one of the things that the collectibles, there was barely any of them, and they're basically the ones that you do get are basically pointless. So, but yeah, the collectible, and you're always feeling stronger. Basically, everything gets you makes you feel like you're making progress. So, yeah, Metroid Prime, fantastic game. And like I said earlier, I rearranged some of my top 10 games. It's because I moved this one up higher on my list. So, yeah, Metroid Prime is a phenomenal game. And yeah,
So I got a couple of things to ask, because I don't remember for sure or not. Are the Metroid Prime games considered canon?
Yes. Technically, they take dude will have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Metroid Primes 1, 2, and 3, where 4 falls in the timeline, I'm not sure, but I believe Metroid Primes 1, 2, and 3 take place between Metroids 1 and Metroids 2, I think.
Okay.
I know it takes place either between Metroids 1 and 2 or between Metroids 2 and Super Metroid, but I think it's between 1 and 2. But yes, they are canon.
Because I was thinking about this, whether or not to actually include them. If they're all canon, then they're all technically part of the main series of Metroid.
That the argument could be made, but because they play so drastically different than the 2D ones, I have no problem considering it a spin-off franchise or a separate franchise. Not technically a separate franchise because it is still the same franchise, but essentially a spin-off franchise because it's drastically different in gameplay. But it's rooted in the same elements.
I mean, you could say it's different in the same way Super Mario Bros. And Super Mario 64 are different. It's just a transition to 3D.
Yes and no.
That's just me, though.
Yeah, like I said, for me, I love Metroid, but I hate Metroid Prime.
Really?
Yeah, I can't say
Oh.
I don't like. I don't. Yeah. So, and the reason why is I like 2D Metroid over 3D. Like, to me, Metroid is a 2D game. So, like, I can like for me, I consider it both two different franchises because, like, everybody's like, "Oh, you're gonna play Prime 4." I'm like, nope. I wish I could and would, but I know I'm not gonna care for it as much as like if you gave me another 2D Metroid, I'd be like, I'm all for it, but.
This also the nostalgia factor, because this is really the game that got me into the Metroid franchise.
Yeah.
Like I knew of it. I don't remember if I had played Super Metroid prior to it, but this is where I really got into the Metroid franchise because of Metroid Prime. Canadians, we forgive you, Jason. The Canadian and I, that's one thing that we do agree on because we are both big fans of Metroid Prime 2 as well. A lot of people didn't like 2 as much, but I love it almost equally to Metroid Prime 1.
I think two is my least favorite, but I still like it.
So,
At least of the 3 Prime games.
yeah. So, and Jason asked in chat, after Jason gives his, I'll read through yours, but he says, in my opinion, it didn't impact as much from Metroid terms, and I know Lois Destiny have high hopes for Metroid Prime 4.
What does Destiny have anything to do?
Yeah,
What?
so are we talking about Destiny the stream, or are we talking about Destiny the game? I have no idea what they meant by that.
Chow
but-
Destiny, is that my new name? I don't know if I like that.
He's saying it was a typo. He's saying Lois doesn't have high hopes for Metroid Prime 4. So I just had to keep reading. So,
I see. He corrected himself right there, and
yeah,
didn't even look at that.
I have high hopes for it. Just the whole motorcycle thing takes a little bit of wind out of the sails because that doesn't belong. This big open world doesn't belong in a Metroid game. But I'm probably gonna enjoy the game regardless.
I totally agree. Actually, that trailer made me less interested in the game.
Yeah, I still want to play it day one, but it did make me a little less interested.
I think I'm gonna wait because I keep saying that I'm gonna get a Switch 2 eventually. I still only have the Switch 1, and I don't
only
want
have Switch 1 as well. And the reason because I was in the same boat, I was like, maybe I'll just wait till Switch 2. I don't know when I'm gonna get one, but you can't. What I'm going to do is I'm going to buy it on Switch 1, but there is a $10 upgrade to the Switch 2 version. So if I ever get Switch 2, I can just pay $10 to upgrade to the better version.
I think I'd rather just get like the full physical package.
To each their own. So, but that is an option.
Okay, there is one exception though. I was thinking I have the PC version of the Trails in the Sky remake. They made a Switch version and they made the Switch 2 upgrade only $1.
Nice.
Like that's how you should do it. Come on, game
companies. If you're going to charge for an upgrade, then yeah, it's just $1. That's fair enough. So it says it looks like we all only have Switch 1. I say, Jason, you have a Switch 2, don't you?
I do.
I thought so. So yeah, I'm not in any rush because there's nothing on Switch that requires the Switch 2 to play that I want to play because it's Mario Kart, which I don't care about, and I do want to play Donkey Kong Bonanza, but it's not that high on my list of priorities.
Once they announce that new Zelda game, you know what I'm gonna do.
If it went back to classic Zelda, then I would be hyped. But if it's just a continuation of the modern Zeldas, like I'll play it eventually. It's not very high on my list either.
I remember hearing they said that they're done with the Breath of the Wild version of Hyrule after this.
Really? I haven't heard that.
I don't remember where I heard that, but so take it with a grain of salt. But I hope that's true because I want them to move on. And I want another 3D Zelda in a different style.
Yeah.
Because I like those two games, but I miss a lot of the old style too.
Yep. So, Kenny says, I've waited 8 years for this game. Talking about Prime 4. I'm buying it come hell or high water. Exactly.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
We were talking about on Nerdportal stream last night how we're ragging on Federation Force because we're all starving for more Metroid and like Metroid Prime 4. And then they announced Federation Force. Like, oh my God, what is wrong with you idiots? So, but yeah, Jason's saying that Switch 2 for $800 near him. Wow, that's ridiculous. Like that has to be secondhand, right? Because you can't sell it for that much from a retail when that's way over MSRP. So, dude said Roller Coaster Tycoon was made by one guy in assembly. It's why it can run on a toaster. Nice.
Yep.
So,
I played it on my old Windows 98 computer,
98.
and it ran like a charm.
Nice. So, all right, Jason.
And yes, Jason, I am a boomer.
Well, Jason on the panel, go ahead and bring us home.
All right, so my number one, this was my number two on franchise that need to be brought back. There's going to be a game eventually coming out has the same gameplay as this, but it's felt that boxing. But my number one is Mike Tyson's Punch Out. When anybody says first game in a franchise, that was where my head went right away. It was torn between Mega Man X and Punch Out, but yeah.
Punch Out was your number two on franchise revivals.
Yep.
Okay, but their original. How many Punch Out games have there been?
1, 2, 3, 4 or 5.
Wow, I didn't. I know the first one. I'm not even sure I knew that there were any others.
Yeah. And the other one, like technically Mike Tyson's is almost the second one because there was an arcade called Punch Out, but it was kind of a different, kind of like the Metroid Prime thing where it was more like a 3D version kind of boxer that you were kind of thing. So almost this didn't qualify in a way, but it plays the same and differently. I mean, it almost plays like Super Punch Out in a way in the arcade, but
I did know about that one.
Yeah. So this is almost technically the second one, but they made this more of a rhythm game / puzzler, in my opinion, than what the arcade version was. But yeah, there's going to be a kind of successor, hopefully coming out to this. Whenever they showed the amazing art style that is, so I'm excited to see what that's going to bring. But when I was going through my top 5, I was going through games that I play so much, and I pretty much play this 3 to 4 times a year. So, I mean, out of all number one games in a franchise, I always go back to this one. So it was my number one. But this and X were really close. I kept looking at, like, which one do I put? And then I literally have some amiibos above me right there. And I was like, oh, which character do I have stacked above the other between Mega Man and Little Mac? And no joke, they're on the same exact tier behind me. So I was like, oh, that doesn't help me. So between the two, it was really hard to choose between the two, but I chose Punch Out because, again, I played that one more in a year than I would and then pretty much any game that we mentioned.
Okay. How many times would you say you played through Punch Out? It's not a terribly long game, right? Especially if
Jeez. I've played this game
more than Resident Evil.
That's a good question because I've played this game since the game came out. So I've been playing this game since I was about 5 years old.
Wow.
So yeah. So I mean, it's close. I probably Mike Tyson's probably the boss I've beaten the most out of any video game. I could probably say that.
Oh, that's a good topic for party chat. What boss have you beaten the most times?
Yeah, I would say Tyson's probably the boss that I've beaten the most out of any final boss in a game.
I could never get to Mike Tyson.
It's tough.
I've never actually played Punch Out, but I've seen it plenty.
Yeah. No, it's I say it's one of those games that, like, I'm nowhere near some of, like, the speedrunners that can do it blindfolded and everything like that, because as crazy as it sounds, I sometimes make it hard for myself and I will play without sound on. And that's almost insane to do because the sound cues are one of the most important things. But yeah, there's the way the game plays is just so much fun.
I wonder how fast you could complete the retro achievement set for it. Since you're probably really good at it.
Man, probably not, because there's probably some ridiculous things that they put on there.
It's basically just there's KO. It looks like there's an achievement for KOing each of the fighters, and there's what's the difference between KO and TKO?
TKO is knocking them down 3 times. KO is getting a 10 count.
Okay,
which is very hard.
Okay, because it looks like there's just glancing through it and not having played. It looks like there's a knockout each one, and then total knockout each one, and then
Don't even think it's possible to knock out Tyson.
there is an achievement for KO Mike Tyson. It's actually less people have knocking out Mike Tyson than TKOing Mike Tyson.
Unless they're
Interesting.
doing TK, yeah, because TKO is usually a full 10 count or a knockout. Sorry, where TKO is if you knock him down 3 times in a round.
And then the only other ones that aren't tied to knockouts is they look pretty easy based on how many people have. And there's gain health between rounds, win by split decision, and take down your opponent with an uppercut after they get up from the count of 1.
Okay,
So that'd be fun to watch you play through that for retro achievements.
Yeah, that's some of those are interesting.
So all right, how many fights are there in the game?
5, 9, 12.
Well, okay.
Because you got the first 5, then you got Flamenco twice, Bobo twice, Piston Honda twice. Yeah, I think 12.
Okay. So, all right. So, and so there's Punch Out and Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Those are 2 different games.
So Punch Out is the one that was on the arcade. And then when it went to the home console, they called it Mike Tyson's Punch Out. But then there was also another one called Punch Out that had Mr. Dream when Tyson did all of his got in trouble with the law, so then they took the name away on Nintendo and they just called it Punch Out and replaced Tyson with Mr. Dream.
Okay.
And then Super Punch Out came out after that, and Super Punch Out was kind of close to the arcade style version, and they brought some of the arcade fighters to the Super Punch Out version.
Okay.
So
cool. All right. And Jason in chat says Punch Out had a unique combat system that was not only action, but also they were all kind of like puzzle bosses at the same time. Exactly what Jason just said. Jason and Jason are kind of thinking on the same wavelength. So, all right. So that does it for our top 5. I'm going to go back here and kind of read through Jason's stuff in chat because he about his top 5. Let's see here. Where did he start? All right, so yeah, I said number 5, God of War. I was so into mythology more than it was so into mythology more than any game at the time. No one was really going full story into mythology. When we see Kratos overthrow Ares and all those Greek gods that Kratos takes, revolutionary. Probably revolutionary. I would love. I know I would love God of War games if I played them. So number 4, Dark Souls, pretty much started the Souls game. It's what popularized it. Yep, and kind of like Mega Man, it didn't have the left to right, but to more way open, and you can do pretty much any combination of weapons and do fine. 3, Five Nights at Freddy's had the creation of mascot horror. Yeah, as the OG wasn't exactly scary unless you look at the lore. The story goes deeper and deeper. Not often could you not walk in horror games. Yeah, you're static and stationary, can't really move. 2, Silent Hill. Not only did way better than their rendered distance, but I am a little biased because this was the start of my favorite horror game of all time, and it also a damn playable teaser. Silent Hill had PT had a playable teaser called PT. If anyone knows what that is, yep, I think most people know what it is. It's hard to get a hold of. That is not only, in my opinion, the greatest horror game, but the scariest. Okay, and point out this game was great inspiration for one of my favorite games I've ever played, Sekiro. I don't know if he's talking about Silent Hill. I think he's talking about whatever we were talking about at the time.
I think you were talking about Ninja Gaiden Black when you were talking.
Yep.
Oh, you're showing that. Gaiden.
That makes sense because I haven't played Sekiro yet, but it is in the backlog, and I think I'm gonna like it a lot more than Dark Souls because it is more like Ninja Gaiden, and I'm a big fan of Ninja Gaiden. So, and then, did he not? That was number 2 was Silent Hill. Did I miss? Is number 1? Must not have said anything about it because originally back then he put, where was it?
Did you talk about North Smith?
He mentioned earlier what he put his top 5 in, and then he expanded upon them. I'm just trying to
No,
find
he
where
didn't
that.
mention his number one.
Okay, he mentioned he just didn't talk about more about it. So I'm just trying to find that original post of which ones. It's because I'm looking for the highlighted in purple, but that was before he switched over to your channel. Sorry.
He just posted. He said one was Metal Gear.
Okay. Thank you.
Right.
Like,
we
go ahead
did
and put it
mention
in
that.
chat
Yeah.
again because I'm having trouble finding it. And one was Metal Gear, as I said earlier. All right. So, good list, Jason. So yeah, if you ever want to be on an episode of Top 5 in the future, go ahead and join my Discord. And we've got signups for topics that we've done, and if people want to revisit those topics, we're happy to do that. And we've got topics that we haven't done yet, so you can sign up for any that you want to be on if you're interested in that. So, but last thing before we go here, as usual, we go through our overall top 5. So, Jason, go ahead and tell us what our top 5 overall is.
So our top 5, pretty much is going to be a tie all the way till we get to number 1. In at tied for second, we got Roller Coaster Tycoon, if I can speak right now, Mike Tyson's Punch Out, Metroid Prime, Batman Arkham Asylum, and our for sure overall number 1 is Mega Man X.
Yes. And that was the last physical game I bought too, because shout out to Snap Rai. He was in town a couple months ago, and he took me to a couple places that he used to frequent for picking up games when he lived in my area. And I picked up Mega Man X that day, so I finally have a physical copy of it. So it's not the one that's in my Super Nintendo, but I do have physical copy of it now as well. And I will pick up Mega Man X2 at some point as well. So fortunately, the one that's hardest to find is the one that I already owned, and that's the one that is in my Super Nintendo. That's Mega Man X3. So yeah, I was like looking at the notes here. I'm pretty sure Mega Man X is going to be in our number 1, which is fine by me because I absolutely love that game.
I bet if you do a part 2 of this one, the number ones are going to be all different again.
Probably.
Oh yeah. This is going to be for sure one of those that will be one of the hardest to 100% have a definitive top 5 until we do maybe 4 or 5 of them kind of thing. That's the only way I could think.
It'd be great if we do a part 2 of this, and then Mega Man X still ends up at the top. You're like, yes. So, All right. We'll go around the horn here and let everyone shill whatever they got going on. So, Nightmare, thank you for joining us tonight for top 5 first games in a franchise. Anything you want to shout out, you want to mention that you got going on?
Nothing coming up soon, but I do usually just stream on my channel Thursdays, 3 p.m. Usually just talk about random stuff, react to random things, and then round it out with some video games. We're getting close to the end of Psychonauts, and we might do Crazy Taxi or something like that next. Not sure, but I think most people come by for the React slop, as I call it. So.
Yeah, you didn't do that part today, which was.
I did, but I just did a short segment.
Oh, okay. Because I came in, I wasn't there from the beginning, so I must have missed it then.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Sorry, I didn't have this ready to go. Give me just a second. Where is it? Wait. Why am I not finding your channel? Is it not under K?
It should be. If you want, I can.
Why is it not in my list? Did I get unsubscribed from you? I was just watching you this afternoon.
YouTube being YouTube.
Oh, you know what? I'll go to my history since I was watching it this afternoon. Sorry, I am a little bit slow.
I just pasted it in the private chat if you want to use that.
That works too. Thank you. So,
yep.
There you go. So if you're not, go give Nightmare a follow on his channel. And I'm dropping the link to his channel right there. And I'll put everyone, I think I actually forgot to put let's see here. Because I normally make it a habit of putting everyone's links to their channels in the stream description ahead of time. I did. So the links are in the stream description as well, but I just dropped it in chat. So you can go and give them a follow either way. So thank you, Nightmare, for joining us tonight. Always fun hanging out with you and talking video games with you. So,
thank you for having me, as always.
Yeah. So, and what about you, Lois? What do you got going on over on your channel?
The only thing I have going right now is the Trails in the Sky playthrough. Aside from that, I've sort of rebranded my RNG series, so that's going to be a little different.
That's right.
It's a little different starting from the last one. So, other than that, that's about it.
Okay. And dropping the link to Lowest's channel. Go give him a sub as well. And I will put the link to his cover video in the stream description afterwards as well. Go give that a listen because that's great stuff. So thank you again for joining us for another top 5. And I just realized why I couldn't see Nightmare's channel in the list is because he's streaming this to his channel as well, and it's at the top of the list, not in the alphabetical list. So that's why I couldn't find it. So, but yeah, always good to have you as well, Lois. So thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me once again.
So, and Jason, what's anything that you want to mention?
Nothing. You want us to play some original Borderlands on Tuesdays? We're going through all of them as I'm playing 4 and going with the present. It's fun seeing me struggle with me playing the past because it's been a while, and it's also fun seeing Neo try to get the feel of Borderlands and everything like that. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, so we're doing Borderlands on Tuesday afternoons. So if you want to come watch us play Borderlands, we're right at the end of a first playthrough on Borderlands 1. We'll figure out whether, because I was planning on 100%ing it, but what I think we'll probably do is just do the story and then do all the DLCs and then probably move on to 2, and then I'll do all the rest of whatever's left over off stream, because that'll require some second playthrough, and I'm not sure if we'll see. It's kind of up in the air, but yeah, we're doing Borderlands 1, and we're planning on basically going through all of them on Tuesday afternoon. So, the next top 5 will be 2 weeks from tonight on the 9th. We don't have any topics yet decided for next month's top 5s. So keep an eye out for in the Discord, and we'll reach out if we pick one that people have already signed up for, which we probably will. Then we'll reach out to whoever signed up for those ones, see if they want to join us for that. So, but if anyone is like, hey, you know what, I'd like to see this topic, let us know, and we'll take that into advisement. And maybe if anyone has a topic they'd like to see, maybe we'll bump that up the list. So, but as for myself, let's see here. So I am going to be doing I haven't decided on whether I'm going to be doing a Metroidvania Monday on Monday or not, because I absolutely am doing a Mass Effect Monday, because it's been, I typically do it once a month. I realized I haven't done one in 4 months, so it's been a while. So I'm doing Mass Effect Monday on Monday. I might also do Metroidvania Monday before that. We'll see. But I still have one slot open if anyone wants to join us. We're going to be doing We're going to be doing Mass Effect 3 multiplayer on the Steam version, and I've got 2 people who've already signed up. So if anyone, I've got one slot open because there are 4 players. So if anyone's interested in playing the PC version Mass Effect 3 multiplayer for a couple hours, let me know. I'll be doing that on Monday night, and then as mentioned, Jason and I will be continuing Borderlands on Tuesday afternoon. And then there'll be another episode of Party Chat on Tuesday evening. So that is all I have to shout out at this time. So that will wrap it up for tonight's top 5. Oh, you gave me a you did give me a topic earlier. I don't know if I'll make that a top 5 topic, maybe, but it's definitely a perfect topic for Party Chat. So, and then we're doing Party Chat on Tuesday. So maybe I'll make that a Party Chat topic this Tuesday. We'll see. But thanks for hanging out here, everyone in chat. Jason and October Mike and Angry Canadian and Dude was in chat. So good to see you again, because you've been kind of offline due to the troubles you've had with your computer stuff. So Paul
Carl
did drop in just once and said yo on the Twitch side of things. Carl was here, T-Man was here. So thanks everyone for hanging out. Oh yeah, Ariel Ballet was here as well. So thank you everyone for hanging out with us while we were talking video game stuff. And thank you guys again for being on the panel. And I had a great time ranking our top 5 favorite first games in franchise. So with that, everyone have a good night. We will see you all later. And as always, in the meantime, game on.